welcome. It's a Cthulhu modern, which is a bit of a departure for me. I usually run at 1930s. But it's 1992. You may not have noticed this. And the PCs are all members of a low-budget video TV ghost hunting show. Think late night, 2 a.m, Channel 4. And they are tasked with investigating the mysterious doings at number 63. And I'm now going to unmute them and hope for the best. Hello. So, I'm going to go around the table and get you to introduce yourselves and your character. You are doing this out of character. I say this only because otherwise Fishy is going to cause trouble. So let's get the troublemaker.
To do it.
Yeah, let's get the troublemaker out of the way. So, Fishy, you are playing.
Good evening. I am playing Adrian Collins, who is a just above average height, slightly scrawny chap of nondescript appearance, because I have no idea what he looks like, so that's as good a description as any, who does unfortunately suffer from a condition caused by a brain injury while he was an infant, with the result that while he can technically speak, he has difficulty voluntarily forming words, and as a result has effectively chosen not to speak, and to all intents and purposes, and as far as most people who know him are concerned, he is mute. But it's important to note that this does mean that because of the way that this works, because it's a brain thing, not a voice thing technically, he can make involuntary sounds, which means he can scream like the rest of you.
Yes, I did actually check in advance that screaming was a possibility.
And he is our cameraman, so normally you can't see him anyway because he's hidden behind a huge piece of early 90s videography gear.
Having wielded such things, I can testify. They're roughly 2 feet long.
Yeah.
Big
and as one
thing.
might perhaps expect from him, he's dressed very practically. So he's like chinos, boots, a nice sort of solid shirt that isn't going to fall apart the moment he catches it on something, and what I will describe as a fisherman's vest, because I don't know whether they have a real name. One of those waistcoats with lots and lots of pockets.
Mm-hmm. They are fishing vests. I own one.
Yeah, so he's got assorted bits and pieces of gear for his job shoved into said pockets.
Yeah, knowing you,
I also own one.
Yeah, knowing you, it's probably full of arrow tips and things. No,
that's almost
not arrow tips, no, but glue, string, pliers for pulling arrows out of trees.
Yep.
Among the other things in Adrian's are a large quantity of pens and at least 2 spiral-bound notepads.
Fair play. Okay, next down is Shard.
Drop, you haven't popped it in self-promotion yet.
I haven't.
I consider that extremely important.
Oh God, I was hiding. What can I say?
No, you're going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Also, I'm yelling at all my friends in DMs, so I didn't not do much yet.
Okay, Charlotte, would you like to introduce your character?
You don't need to, because a certain chrono, I think, has already done it.
Oh, has he?
No, I haven't.
No, he hasn't. He may have tweeted it though.
Oh, no.
So yes, Shard, would you like to?
I was looking at the wrong date.
Yeah, Shard, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
I'm playing Adam Woodrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the sound engineer, so I won't be hiding behind equipment, but instead getting up in people's space way too closely all the time.
Okay, so what can we expect personality-wise from
Oh,
Adam?
right. It's pretty chill. Like,
Okay.
Pothead chill.
And how old is he, roughly?
They're about 26. Dark black hair, and of course, handlebar mustache, because why not? But he's probably shorter than everyone else. I think he's like 5'6".
Okay, I'm not going to call that short.
Thank you.
I am.
I said shorter than everyone else.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we won't call that short. Tiny, maybe.
He's just really interested in figuring out, the perfect sounds, putting them together, and hopefully, breaking into sound engineering on much more lucrative shows with the sounds that he finds and engineers.
Okay, so he's using this as a platform to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Robinson.
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing Isaac Murphy, who, true to his name, is a bit of a bumbling idiot where things will go wrong around him. No small part to his tiny dexterity.
It's a meta character. He's gone for a self-insert.
Yeah, no, actually, to be honest, it did start off as a self-insert because it was a struggling university student with above average intelligence. Sorry. Yeah. No, but he's used to being talked down to because he picks all the unpopular things to be interested in, but wants to prove himself right. So he's gone out to join this show in an attempt of finding evidence.
And probably work.
And yeah, well, he's going to have to work because otherwise he's going to have no money.
I don't know, picky. You
I thought you were the intern?
He is the intern.
Yeah, you don't get paid as an
So he's
intern.
still not going to have any money.
Tal, I'm
He's
not
doing
sure
this
about
to
begging
save
at
money.
this stage. Right. I am running how many channels? Okay. So, I've got 3 Discord channels open. I've got yay!
Fine.
It's fine. It's
Fine.
fine. I'll be fine once I get
Okay.
going. Okay, so Jick, who is not appearing in camera, which
No,
is cool,
no.
but who
And there
does
is a
have
good reason for
picture.
that because I'm playing Eddie Knight, or Chatterbox as he's otherwise known, who, unlike oneself, is not so necessarily handsome, but certainly very distinguished-looking gentleman, mid-30s. Rather a fan of Edwardian attire, and so sees himself in a full suit. A disgraced radio host that basically got kicked off rather unceremoniously during the pirate radio years, and has basically only managed to get himself as a presenter at 2 a.m. Really probably thinks it's beneath him, but knows that he can't get any better.
Okay, I did briefly wonder about the whole disgraced radio presenter. Just what do you have to do to get kicked off local radio in disgrace?
The viewers may find out.
Once you decide. Oh, don't do it like that, John. That's a bad thing. Okay. So, coming back round up the other side. So, Tal.
Oh, hello.
Introduce.
Hello. I wasn't expecting to go. Don't face palm at me, Knight. I see you. I thought it was going through the others first.
No, it is going through the others first, isn't it? It's you, and it loops back round up tonight.
Hello. I am playing Madam in massive quotation marks, Beatrice Coppola, who is a medium, again in massive quotation marks. In terms of appearance, imagine a very new age Gina Bellman. She's a very good-looking middle-aged woman who wears a lot of scarves. I'm too tastefully dressed. I don't have proper clothing. My clothes are too tasteful. But yeah, and she is the psychic help on the show. They take her into buildings, and she basically just goes on like, "Yes, I feel a presence in here. Will you speak to us?" She's not a psychic.
Yes. As far as you know.
She's also not 38. She's lying about that too.
Yep.
Yeah, but which direction is she lying?
We reckon she's like 21 and is panicked. And now she's put it on all her application forms. It's on her LinkedIn page. That's it. She can't correct it. Okay, so, and last but by very no means least, Nightbites.
It's the tiny guy.
Well, we've got a tiny and a medium then. No one he knows a large.
So I'm playing Brian Halsey, who's about 5'10", average kind of build. Not particularly brilliantly well kept in terms of hair and stubble. Hair's probably a bit messy. Probably got 2 or 3 days growth. Largely because he's been messing about with all the props that he provides for the show. So when Madame says, "Oh, I feel something in here," he's the one that's attaching fishing lines to people's coats to give something a tug, and making sure there's a camera, a fan off camera to get that gust of wind going. Which means that, much like our good cameraman friend, he's wearing one of those wonderful fishing jackets with all the pockets for pliers, tape, more tape, lighters, matches, all the guff that you need to get those effects just when you need them.
Right, now, how many rolls of gaffer tape do we have between the entire party?
Not enough.
Not enough. Good
There's
to know.
never enough gaffer tape.
The tallest person always loses their head first. So, Robinson.
I mean, you could always check in the van and see if there's any gaffer tape in there, but I'm not going near it.
Well, the gaffer tape or the van?
Well, I've got to live in the van. I mean,
Right.
it's my home away from home. I mean,
Okay. So,
You know, if we ever get bored, I've got a synthesizer and a soundboard in the van. We can just have our own little rave.
Just jam.
you
Yep.
could. You could. Good Lord. Ed, everybody's in chat today.
Yeah, because as I said, I went and yelled.
You went and yelled at everybody. Everyone's terrified of you. You honk at them. Hello and welcome to everybody. Welcome, Alexia. Nice to see you.
To see you, nice.
Indeedy.
Yeah.
We have a font
Beat me
of
to it.
positivity in chat. This is awesome because I'm about to go and throw myself off something. But out of sheer panic.
May I suggest a bouncy castle, because you're more likely to come back from that one.
Point.
Also, chat,
Actually,
feel
bungee.
free to give suggestions on how not to die.
Oh god, yes.
So
Run.
the
The second you see a monster, run and hope that the other members in your group are slower.
Yeah.
I would like to point out, however, this is Call of Cthulhu, not a pantomime. I do not necessarily want to see "it's behind you" in chat.
Right, so let's find the pictures page, which is around here somewhere because I have been adding stuff in. So, oh, for goodness sake, you just need to hire yourself out for an ego massage, Alexia. You're great. Okay, so you got Meki supplying the necessaries and everybody else acting as cheerleader. This is going to be fun. Although
All we need is pom-poms.
I suspect. Oh, don't say pom poms, please.
Hashtag
I have a
had-
rabbit called Pom Pom. Should I go fetch him?
I have a Cthulhu I can use as a pom
Now,
pom.
Yep.
is
I
that
can only use it as
command
one
still in the
pom-pom.
box?
No.
Oh, it's not. That's a shame.
Okay, so this is the horrific.
That's a lot of horrifics.
Yes.
I'm terrified now.
Holistic.
Yes.
think it's
Did you
holistic.
ever, did
That
you
was
ever
what she was
have
trying
one
to
of
say.
those where your brain just links to something and just goes, you know what, I'm going to keep saying it irrespective of whether it's the right thing. So,
Yes,
welcome to the
frequently.
House of Horror. This is number 63. And yes, I did go for the single most mundane looking damn place I could find on the entire internet. This is number 63 Grange Drive, Gastbury, a small village in Kent, not a million miles away from Pluckley. It has a different name to the Session Zero because I decided on a specific name rather than random generation. So, you're not helping, Croner. But actually, yeah, that's probably about right. So, weird doings have been reported. You've been given a dossier. Well, you put together a dossier in the run-up to this because you were approached, and that's going to be Eddie was approached by a former listener who's got wind of his current activities and who runs a letting agency dealing with the Gastbury estate. They have asked you, as a last desperate step, to investigate, because they're foolishly under the impression that you lot are genuine paranormal investigators.
Obviously, we got the gear.
Yep. You've got quite a lot of gear, and some of it may even be useful. Hey, look, I've chased people out of the house before with flying knives. I'm willing to go with almost anything at this stage. So
Everybody has chased somebody out of the house with flying knives if they've run Call of Cthulhu. That's the haunting. It's the most popular Call of Cthulhu scenario in the history of the game.
I think I've run it 4 times.
I've run it twice, and I'm not even a COC keeper.
Yep.
See, I'd just turn around and shoot the space where the head should be, because I would think that there was an invisible person attacking with the knife. And then I'd
Yeah.
get shot.
Yeah, no. Telekinesis for the win. Unless it isn't. Who knows? Only people who've played it, which is everyone who's ever been near a copy of Call of Cthulhu.
Pretty much.
It's good to know,
I should
Fish.
not mute my phone.
Yes, you've got to
Sorry.
mute your phone. That's cool. Things I'm not wanting today. Stream dodginess. So yes, it's 1992. The house was built in 1990 with the rest of the estate. We go with this being a really fast-growing bush in the front garden, okay?
And that was transplanted. It was grown somewhere else and just moved wholesale. You can buy fully grown plants from garden centres. It's obviously what was done.
So, since the house was built, tenants have reported strange noises, smashed crockery, and inexplicable cold spots. Several tenants have simply done moonlit flits and vanished rather than complete their tenancy. The place has only been up 2 years, and Tunstall and Sons, the letting agent, are at their wits' end as to how to keep people in the house. You have a basic history of the land and the area, and have decided to come in and film one of your episodes because, hey, it's accessible. It's in the middle of Kent. It's not like you have to go up a lighthouse somewhere in Scotland to track a ghost. You can do this and be back in London by tea time the next day. So, what is your plan, guys? How are you going to set this up, and who wants to do what? You've got the basic details, so you've got the floor plan, which you got from the letting agent, and that's also where you've got all the photos. The photographs are, as you can see from that cover, slightly washed out photocopies. Apparently it's impossible to get a good photo of number 63.
A challenge.
Which is odd, because they show you photos of number 61 next door, and that is absolutely fine.
Given that we have been told you can't get a good photo of number 63, Adrian will have brought a stills camera as well as his video camera, because that's not a challenge that he's going to let live.
Okay. So he's
Probably got
actually
at least 3 different types of film.
strange emulsions he's made himself, huh?
Well, no, but,
No.
one's going to be a high-speed film, one's going to be a
So it's not an
normal one,
emulsion
and
out
then
of
one
space,
black
we're
and
fine.
white.
Yeah, just the best that Jessops can provide.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
probably Ilford.
okay. So, you rock up. What time of day are you pitching up? The place is currently untenanted. which is part of the problem.
I'd suggest as early as possible so we can get all the gear set up and so that everything can be set for when darkness descends.
Yeah.
So I can have all my gadgets set out all over the place so that if I need to have something move, I haven't got to run around to try and get it set up. We can get in and get it done and get everything set early.
I would suggest that maybe the technical staff should be there in the morning and then everyone else turns up in the afternoon. So we've got time to get stuff set up before they arrive, and then we've still got time before we actually start filming for everyone else to bed
that way
in.
You can see where all the light is and where you need to set the camera for the best angles on the people.
Yeah.
And because we won't have the stars there, we can just stand in as body doubles so that you can get the angles right. I'll stand on a box if I need to.
I'm taking this, by the way, as being an out-of-character discussion because this is what we would have planned before we got here, hence I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie, to be fair, Eddie's not a morning person. He probably would have been in the area the night before, sleeping in his van. So anybody who came in with Eddie in his van, which everyone's welcome to do so, would have been there like the following evening, probably woke up at 9 o'clock in the evening, but have bedded down in the van.
Yeah,
Adam's probably in the van.
Travel lodge, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Beatrice is not in fact sleeping in the van because she's a little bit of a diva. She's going to okay.
Oh, I see. B&B above a pub.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a diva, but she's also not
She's a diva,
loaded.
but she works on like a Channel 4 ghost program. She doesn't have that much money.
Not that much of a diva.
She can't be that much of a diva.
Can I check, by the way, how the stream is coming across to people? Because Obi is reporting some drop frames, and I wanted to make sure.
I've seen the stream buffer a few times.
Okay.
But I'd assumed it was just my end.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm showing green. It's just that it's also showing 5,000 drop frames, but I think that was largely at the start. It's not actually got that much running, and frankly, if it can cope with high-end games going across, I don't see why it's going to have a turn now, unless it's actually just my internet.
The house itself, number 63, has a driveway, doesn't it?
It has a very short driveway, yes, which leads to a garage, which is not wide enough for your van. Or rather,
That's
it is,
fine.
but you
He
couldn't
wouldn't
get
go
out.
into the house. What I'm thinking is he'll park the trailer with most of the gear in it that he's bringing in from the van on the driveway for accessible for the technical guys,
Okay.
and he'll be on the road and just have parked there. So, although he's dead to the world because he's asleep, he is there in the early hours.
Okay, so the trailer's been parked up on the short drive, and he's probably parked across the drive because that's about the only way a dirty great van is not going to piss off everybody who needs to do the school run.
Yeah. But maybe it would be a little too
School
close.
running parents are the true horror here.
Why exactly do they all own 4x4s? That is a question for the ages. You never go anywhere with a better than that slope.
I know why they have 4x4s, because sometimes Dad drives the car and he says, I know a shortcut!
Fair. Also did know somebody who was like 4'8", and she had it purely because that gave her a driving position where she could actually see above any other car.
That's fair.
4x4s are essential because if you don't have a nice high suspension, you risk damaging the car when you go over the lollipop lady.
I was expecting speed bumps, but actually that works rather better.
You're going to confuse the rest of the world now, because apparently we only call them lollipop ladies here.
Yep.
I didn't even know they existed anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're crossing guards in the
Crossing
US.
guards, yeah.
Crossing guards in the US.
The lollipop lady or the lollipop man.
Yeah, lollipop man,
Yeah,
lollipop
I
lady.
did enjoy to explain that they control the zebra crossing.
Yeah.
People of other countries lose it because they don't call them zebra crossings either.
It's the fact that all
Well,
our
that's
crossings are
they
named
all
after.
have it wrong.
Yes, they're named
Obviously.
after animals.
We have the correct names, and other people don't. That's the way it works.
I apologise for the dog sounds coming from my microphone. We still have neighbours letting off fireworks and my dog isn't in the happiest of moods.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, there's probably a dog in the neighborhood.
Yep. Quite possibly overflow.
Except for sure.
Right, so this is the floor plan. This is what they have to decide.
I have a question for you about the floor plan drop.
Yo.
On the downstairs back main room, this is open plan lounge diner.
Yep.
What's the sort of the box area just by the patio doors?
Table?
What it is... No, that's... I think that's the area that has to be kept clear. It's nothing significant. It's an empty room.
Mute that. There we go.
Yeah, Robinson, you're Generation Z. I'm not sure you're allowed to do the boomers thing. I think that's a millennial thing.
I mean, I'm on the borderline between millennial and Z.
You are aware that I'm pretty sure we don't have any boomers in this room, possibly even in the channel.
But sometimes it can be possible to tell, because Genom Corporation are extremely good, and they just look like normal people until they go rogue. And you have to call them lightsabers in.
Oh my
Deep
god.
cut for the anime fans.
Yes, welcome to Bubblegum Crisis. Okay. Boomeroids.
There's only when's that? Is it 2033 that's set?
Yes.
The original, yeah, it's 2033.
So
We're getting there,
eerily
not long.
close.
Yeah. It's like if we ever get round to playing a game of Cyberpunk next year.
Yeah.
Well, I do have the original first edition, so I could
Cyberpunk
run
2 years ago.
Cyberpunk 6 years ago if we wanted.
Right.
Now,
So,
let's not blame the boomers for too much, because we might have some boomers show up to watch us play.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
fingers
Unlikely.
crossed, fingers crossed, Alexia, because it does seem to be cleaning up now. Whatever was causing it to have a turn seems to have stopped. She says, "Please God." Yeah, it's Switch. What are you going to do? So, you have the floor plans. I will now hide the floor plan.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Yeah, Adrian will indeed have been in the nearest Travelodge the night before.
Mm-hmm.
It takes him a little bit of time to book in and check out, because all of the camera gear travels with him in his Mazda rather than going in the van or the trailer. And since the boot hasn't opened in that Mazda for 3 years, it's all on the back seat and he can't leave it there. So that means he's got to cart it all into the room. And then in the morning when he leaves, he's got to cart it all back out and put it in the back of the Mazda.
So you're saying
that takes him a bit of time.
Diva too.
Yep. Oh yeah, Divas drive Mazdas.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
There's a
The wrong
hashtag.
model, the previous model Mazda, not the one that not since they changed the body shape, which they did, I think, in about 90 or 91.
You lot put way too much effort into researching your
I
characters.
researched the car. That's all. Yeah, he will rock up at the house at number 63 in said Mazda, park across the road. You'll know he's coming because the clash can be heard coming out of his windows at quite a high volume as he approaches.
I think Eddie would be distinctly disturbed in his sleep at such a ruckus at this awful time in the morning.
I don't think Disturbed have released anything yet. They're not a band yet, even.
Okay, musical joke.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah,
And here's me with not having the soundboard open.
I considered a soundboard. Then I looked at the number of windows I had to have open and bottled it.
Yeah,
Right,
I
important
know.
question. What is the point of having a drum kit if you do not have it nearby to do
If you're streaming from the wrong room, Knight.
Yeah, I need to be streaming from the other room, clearly.
I just have visions
Yeah.
now of you streaming from behind the drum kit, just entirely with the little desk set up,
I
sat on
think
top of
last
whichever things you have at the front.
time I played, I suggested that he does do it from the room so that he can just set dice up on the drums, so every time he hits certain drums, it rolls the dice for him.
Don't give him
That's a good point. If you roll the dice on a drum, did you get an automatic drum roll?
Yeah, I have now activated the soundboard.
I can't kill them. I can't kill them. Not
Yet.
yet.
I've
No, I like doing this. I like setting it up so that people get relaxed and they get happy and they laugh and they joke and it's all fine.
And then the
Getting
shit
in
hits the fan.
character.
Yeah, it is the getting into character.
Yeah,
This is why...
serious sidestep for a second. Yeah, for one-shot horror games like this, it is important to give people a chance to get into the character, because if you don't get into character, you won't care when they go mad or die. So you've got to allow for that setup time.
Yeah. So, given you've got the floor plans, once you all start rocking up, what are you doing? What are you doing in the way of setup? What are you doing in the way of exploration? You can take a wander around the house, obviously, first.
Yeah.
I'm-
Going to wander around the whole house with a light meter for starters. Trying to guesstimate what the light's going to be like later on, because it'll be totally different to what it is now. But
Right.
where possible, doing things like closing all the curtains and finding out what the light is like based on the electric, rather than natural lighting.
I was going to see if the electric was actually turned on, because it's not occupied. The trips may well be already off.
That's a good point. I mean, is the electric on?
The electricity does appear indeed to be on.
I'm going to have a wander around the house and get a feel for the aura.
The lights can't flicker if there's no electricity.
I was seriously considering suggesting we turn it off if it's on. That way it can't suddenly go out on us.
Oh, that's fair.
And that way,
you
all
say-
light is from our devices. We're relying on the batteries that we know are charged, which means there isn't some scrote sneaking around flipping trip switches everywhere.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
it's...
other than you say the lights can't flicker if the electricity isn't on, but for those who have already seen it, I would just like to say Dr. Sleep.
Adam's going to be wandering around, knocking on walls, testing out the sound, getting a feel for how it echoes,
Okay.
and also following Madame Beatrice around, recording her randomly pretending like she knows what she's doing.
Yes.
I think
Randomly pretending like she knows what she's doing.
that's probably going on earlier in the morning before Eddie actually gets up properly, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. After so enigmatically calls the boy has fetched his breakfast lunch.
The boy.
Oh, that's the other thing Adrian will be doing while, not the boy, obviously, while he's checking with the light meter. Adrian will also be taking photographs, because he wants to defeat this whole you can't get a good photo. So.
Yeah. Fortunately, he's on a
And then over lunch, we
camera.
might head out for a 1-hour photo shop.
I mean, I hope that Isaac does have a bike, because Eddie wants a Wimpy and he doesn't know where the nearest one is.
You're seriously sending the PFY for a wimpy?
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
playing fetch.
I'm going to get me a Wimpy for my breakfast lunch.
Technically, it's fast breaking.
Go medieval.
I mean,
It's
Isaac can refuse to do this.
You could. Hope you don't.
You know.
Right, so you're
I'll be
taking
following our cameraman around. Because then he'll tell me where he's going to be setting the cameras up for different rooms, so that I can see where I need to set my stuff off, so that it's off camera when I trigger it.
Yep, you need to know
Well,
sight
so that I'm
lines.
off camera. Yeah.
You will need to know sight lines.
I must admit, I was assuming this whole thing would be a Steadicam shop. Not that I could afford a Steadicam, so...
So
Okay. So, would you like to see the pictures that these guys have got access to of the house in general?
I would love to see them because I can't.
Okay. That's not the living room. Where's the living room gone?
hopefully it hasn't vanished.
Actually has. Hang on. That's quite impressive, actually. Where's it gone? Hello, where are you? Oh, there you are. That's the bedroom.
There's no living room. They don't. There's the open
It's
lounge.
the lounge diner.
Okay.
Yes. There we
This is a
go.
rather small house. Nothing's gonna go wrong. It's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine. I need to co-op that thing from Chrono, that emote, because that's just perfect.
It's fine. It's all fine here.
Yeah. You see, that might actually help if I close the 23 tabs I have open in my browser.
23.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are rookie
I thought it
numbers.
was loading very well.
Rookie mistake.
Okay.
I'll be putting the bits and bobs for us in the Halloween channel because I loaded them up before we started.
Okay.
We are presumably going to have a an operations centre, for want of a better term.
Probably
Where are we going to set that up?
The kitchen, so I can make coffees for everyone.
Yeah, the kitchen would actually be a good operations center.
It's a good shout.
Would you believe they didn't take photos of the kitchen?
Kitchen's tiny though. We
We
can't
don't
use
need
it as an
much
operation.
room.
Well, I mean,
Well, I was thinking bedroom 4.
Oh,
Why not use the garage? It's ground floor. We haven't got to lug gear
Yeah.
upstairs for the control room.
garage. That was going to be my suggestion. Was that the garage is the obvious place to put it because we can just open up the garage doors and get everything in nice and easy.
Okay. So,
Plus, it's the room we're least likely to want to film in.
okay.
yeah.
Surely.
Oh,
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but there's enough room for us to store gear there, set up a base of operations, and film if we need to.
That is the garage. That is the garage. So, which the file is labelled the note hole, which is based purely on Robinson's reaction to seeing this photo last week.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm linking as soon as I can.
Okay.
Folks.
What just happened?
We had a boop.
We had a boop.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Don't know quite why we had a boop, but we had a boop.
We had a.
Oh,
I'm assuming that the boop is Discord alerting us to the reposting of these images, so to save us hunting for them.
Oh, I do apologise.
Thank you,
that's
Kit. Yes, I was scrolling back trying to find the damn things, so quite
What
happy
I-
that you put them there.
I've already scrubbed back up.
I'm just going to turn my Discord, however, to the headset rather than going out through speakers, because then it won't show up on. Well, it'll show up on stream, but it won't show up too distractingly. VC, shush, go away. I think Madame Beatrice needs to fiddle. She probably has rings. I would imagine she has a lot of finger rings.
In my head, she's got a lot of rings. Yeah.
Yes.
oh man.
Sufficient rings that.
She also has like the really big hoop earrings, like a couple
Yes.
of them.
Oh,
Yes.
bound to. She's got to, surely.
Yes, absolutely.
And a little like chain
Bracelets.
there.
All the way up to the elbow, you know.
Oh, you reckon the gloves? The
Hanging,
gloves?
hanging.
You reckon the gloves, opera gloves, and then rings over the top?
Gloves with the rings over the top.
I think. Are we talking? Because she needs to. Though she does need to.
Oh dear.
Oh boy!
Oh no.
I see a challenge has been set.
I'm on the move.
Oh yes.
What in the hell?
It's like Tal was prepared.
It's like Tal has no
Okay.
sense of self-control and has bought a load of weird clothing items over the years.
If this game had XPs, I would be demanding some for Tal right there.
Yep. At this stage, I'm just hoping at some point somebody
Start
gets a
giving
skill.
brownie point dice out.
Oh. Chrono just asked if any of the rings have any like a secret compartment for powders or whatnot.
If so, you probably want to keep them
Quite
away from
possibly.
Eddie. I have my feed. I have my sensations.
Sensations?
Yes.
Suspicions?
Sorry, not
Yeah,
suspicions.
what?
Suspicions.
My sensation.
I was looking at the word sensation, and unfortunately, my brain just went, "No, you say what you read." Okay. So.
Can you stop jiggling your wrists? I can't. I'm not picking up your voice very well over the jangling. So corrupt the audio.
Yeah, it's going to be bangles. It's going to be bangles all the way up.
Did she also walk like an Egyptian?
See, I
So for
thought
the next
that.
few minutes, I'm going to
and
be
stop
around
myself.
the background.
Yeah, but you know me, full impulse control.
I have to say, this is the best commitment I've ever had to a game. Right.
So yeah, base of operations garage. That makes
Okay.
sense. Are we keeping the garage door shut or open?
Well, unless you want to get it nicked, we want all the gear safe. So I would say
Yeah,
shut the
someone's
door.
going to be in the garage most of the time anyway, right? We're not all going to be on the floor at the same time.
You're not native to Kent, are you?
Nope.
Nah.
We shut the door.
I was born in Alaska, so.
Yeah,
I would think the snow would keep the thieves out there.
trust
think?
me when I say that better safe than sorry. The garage has an entrance, by the way, which it has both internal and external, so it opens into the stairwell just inside the entrance hall. So you don't have to keep going in and out through the main door. Once you've shifted all the gear in there, you can close that and go in and out via the internal door. Okay. So, where would you like to investigate, those of you who are wandering around trying to get a feel for the place, either physically or in its aura? And do the others know that you're a complete and utter fraud, madame?
Probably, yeah.
Depends on your definition of no, doesn't it?
I've already
Is it
had
common?
a problem, and that problem is this ring is too tight over the gloves and keeps getting stuck and cutting off the circulation.
I would suggest not wearing it over the glove.
Don't lose your fingers over a game.
Yep. Hello, Actaeon.
Ah,
Hello, Tyon. Hello.
there we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Clearly, hands of the assassin. Someone's going to get possessed. Which is an option, though.
Dang, there's a lot of people watching.
Never
Cool.
have any gloves when you're trying to use a keyboard.
I know it can have its moments.
If this is also an in character thing, don't ask why, but Eddie does have a tub of Vaseline in his van.
Why?
Immediately disregard instructions.
Whenever anyone says don't ask why, you know that's the first question that's going to come back.
No, I'm not taking it. There's an open goal there. I'm just not going to do it. I am rising above such things. I'll just let everybody else.
Note to self: don't go anywhere near Eddie's van alone.
Especially for the PFY, yeah.
Okay. No, everything seems to be going okay at my end, Actaeon, so fingers crossed. Yes, we need to get, mind you, we need to get a get together. We need to get everybody in one place. That might be some kind of explosion.
Well, once Isaac has bought the Wimpy, then Eddie will stir.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so yes, he's strolling in his Edwardian gear, trying not to drip ketchup all down his front. Wimpies make the thinnest burgers on the planet, by the way. I think
But they do a wonderful sausage that they cut part way through and curl it round in a burger bun, and they call it a bender in a bun. Absolute fact.
Oh my god.
There used to be one opposite the shop I worked in, and my manager, on a stock take, sent the youngest member of staff across to Wimpy to get him a bender in a bun.
Dear. Dear, indeed. There were some things which are just uniquely British. What worries me
there's
is
something that's
Wimpy's...
absolutely stuck in my brain that really shouldn't have.
Wimpy's still going. That's something that surprised
That's
the hell out
scary.
of me. I think there's still one on Margate Seafront.
Good grief.
So, about probably the most striking feature as it stands as he strolls into the house at this wonderful time in the afternoon is the kitchen towel tucked in his shirt and all the way down his front so he doesn't get the sauce on him. So he's presentable for when they start filming.
Yep. Now I've got the image evolving in my mind as to exactly what Eddie looks like.
And he might need someone to make sure he hasn't got stuff in his moustache afterwards.
As you do.
I think I've been in a Wimpy like twice and I got food poisoning the second time. Yeah.
Where's that intern at?
The intern's hoping that somebody reimburses him for the Wimpy.
He's not cruel. We would have given Isaac money to get the Wimpy.
He's expecting change, obviously.
Yeah, cool.
You didn't give him any extra to cover the taxi there and back.
Well, I say that's why I hoped that he had a bicycle.
I could walk the whole way.
You can't have transport. Transport is for those with money. He is
And
impoverished.
no one drives the van but Eddie.
I've come back with slightly damp tops because I had to sprint.
Oh, ew. Ooh. Okay.
Eddie, well for Isaac some Vaseline.
No.
Yeah.
Stop it. No.
Okay, adding to the list of people not to go anywhere near.
Inappropriate behaviour, the RPG.
But no, so all these newfangled sprays and cans and all that malarkey, you just need Vaseline and talcum powder. It's fine.
I think if anybody's eyes opened any wider, then there would actually be issues.
I know this is a very different working environment, but for some reason I've now got the Divine Comedy's office politics running through my head on permanent loop.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I think that's quite apt because I think Eddie is definitely going to hell.
By the end of this scenario, if I play my cards right. Right.
I mean, if we find anything, it doesn't seem like there's anything here. Completely not haunted.
You have the open plan living room area, one half of which points out to the back garden, the other half of which is to the stairwell, which heads upstairs, obviously. This place is basically completely soul-free in its design. You have the aforementioned garage.
Did you mean to say soul free?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And we have the bedrooms, which are magnolia, tiny windows. That is indeed UPVC wood for those for the front bay in the quote master bedroom. And that is not a bedroom, that is a cupboard. That is roughly the same floor size as a double bed. And bedroom 4 is indeed not appearing in this selection of photos because it's a tiny bit smaller than bedroom 3. So, they bear a startling resemblance to jail cells, the bedrooms.
I think bedroom 3 might actually be just a little bit bigger than the room I'm in at the moment.
When I was flat hunting, I suddenly realised that people can call any space a bedroom if you can theoretically get a mattress down. If it's big enough for some form of sleeping bag, you can call it a bedroom.
I've done that.
Yeah. So, Fishy, make me a photography roll, please.
Okay. I have photography of 65 and I have rolled a 46. So
Right.
I made it.
You did make it.
Are you using your Polaroids at the moment, or are you using the film cameras?
Real film cameras.
Yep.
Because I thought you had Polaroids on your inventory too.
Oh, he will definitely have a Polaroid for professional use, but at the moment he is taking photographs for personal interest with his personal film camera, 35mm, while he's going around checking all the light levels and giving a first overview. He's got the Polaroid with him as well, so if there's something that he needs to do a test shot for, he can do.
Right. Okay.
But at the moment, he's just looking around and determined to prove that you can photograph this house because that's just stupid. Of course you can.
Of course you can. Unfortunately, because this isn't a digital camera, you can't check the photos immediately.
Well, as I said, over lunch, heading out to the nearest 1 hour photo shop.
Yep, which exists because it's 1992.
1992, so they should still exist, yeah.
Get until the nearest similar out place.
Yep. Cool. So, that's you. Tal, Can Madam Beatrice please roll me a spot hidden and a listen?
Oh my god.
A spot hidden and a what? Oh, listen, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The two rolls you never ever want to pass when playing Cthulhu.
Yep, you want to fail these rolls.
Fail both of them.
Good job!
She's still sane.
Yep, she is as perceptive as a half book in a handbag. Okay. So this is going well.
What is she saying to herself when she sees nothing?
Right. You are walking around upstairs. Am I right in thinking you wanted the electricity shut off in the building?
That was my suggestion, but I was happy to be discussed out of it.
Don't know who did any discussing.
Well, I mean, I'm
I
happy.
certainly didn't say anything.
Also, we're filming a show. It should be darker, and we should use our own lights to create a spooky atmosphere, so we don't need the electricity on.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got push comes to shove, we can, use the generator that's in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Run up with that if need be, but...
Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely expect to be able to do that. Right.
We have got spare juice for the Jenny in the trailer, right? Like more diesel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I didn't bring any spare diesel.
So no cans of highly volatile liquid randomly stored in the transit van owned by the
Diesel's
dodgy
not
guy.
highly volatile.
Yeah, diesel's hard to catch on fire. Takes
Challenge
work.
accepted.
Oh God!
I just brought
Oh no,
a trailer that has a generator in it. I didn't bring any of the accoutrements to use the generator.
So you're sending out the intern as soon as he gets back with the Wimpy. You're going to be sending him out to the local petrol station with to
bring back 2 jerry cans of diesel.
So buy a jerry can.
I suggest you go buy 2 jerry cans and fill them both up.
I don't have any arms left.
No, I was talking to Eddie. Trying to get someone to cycle back with 2 full jerry cans is going to be insane. Eddie, just drive him. Be done with it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll go, come on. You come in, mate, you can help fill them up and we'll go. Does anyone want anything from the petrol station?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry. You want to grab me?
Choco!
Isaac, how far away was the Wimpy from the petrol station?
I wasn't looking out for a petrol station, so I have no idea.
Right, I'll tell you what, let's go to the petrol station, then you can direct me to the nearest Wimpy, and we'll get Wimpy for everyone.
Why don't you just bring back a box of Ginsters and be done with it?
There's probably a McDonald's at the petrol station. That's how it goes.
No, you're in semi-rural Kent.
Yeah?
No, there's a Wimpy at the petrol station.
No, fair enough.
I like how Eddie is going to not be around when stuff goes bad.
He's just going to come back at the very end like the house is on fire.
Have you seen that gif of the guy walking in with the pizza and there's people on fire on the floor and wrestling? And
When we come back, everybody will be dead except for Adrian,
uh-huh.
who will unfortunately have had his hands cut off and be looking really pissed off and unable to explain what happened.
Ooh. Don't give the GM ideas.
Right, so, who would like to come with Eddie to get some diesel for the generator and some food for everyone?
Did you just talk about yourself in the third person?
That's the kind of thing Eddie does, baby.
Oh my god.
Oh God!
Eddie is as Eddie does.
Definitely not.
Adrian will just point at the camera, point upstairs, and wander off.
I will sign to Adrian do you want anything from the Wimpy?
His response is no, but I wouldn't mind some food. Nope.
There he is.
Well, he's wandered off already, so you can sign as much as you like. It's not going to do any good.
Fine.
Okay. I just love the fact that the hint plays bot just lied completely. Oh
So
You
it's
look
occurred to me
great!
that a prop would be good.
Ah,
There we go.
show off.
So who's coming with Eddie? I mean, Isaac's coming with Eddie because Eddie's not going to do all the lugging around on his own.
Yeah,
I'll give him
Yeah,
that
like
right,
you do.
I'd advise against taking me, but, you know, I don't really have much choice there.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be the intern who's chief cook, bottle washer.
So around this is probably around like 2:30 by this point. Going to go and get some jerry cans filled up with diesel for the generator, and some, probably what will happen is Eddie will probably get, distracted along the way, see a chip shop, and just like go, oh, sorry, we'll have that instead.
Right.
Don't forget the fuel.
So you're going to come back with a load of chips, probably battered sausages and scraps.
Oh, bad sausages, saveloys, several pieces of cod, way more than there are a number of people.
Right.
And he's going to set it up in the kitchen of the camper van.
Okay.
So people can come and eat and go as they please.
I will quietly go with Eddie to help him carry stuff.
Not alone!
Being a props guy, I'm used to lugging stuff around.
So,
And I don't trust the PFY to not drop anything.
It's
So,
a huge,
we've got-
huge sigh of relief from the intern at not being left alone with Eddie.
so we have Eddie, Isaac, and Bryson going in the van. So Adrian is probably not long away from heading off to get his photos developed. And that leaves Adam and Madame Beatrice alone in the house. So...
Hey, Beatrice, do I give off any spooky vibes?
I
Yeah,
can't
it can
tell
be a
if
bit of a
Tal's
bumpy
cat is
ride.
frozen or if you're just
How
getting a
it
death
drives.
stare.
I'm inclined to say death stare, to be honest.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Adam would like to know if he gives off vibes.
Hello. Oh. Hang on, which one's Adam? Is Adam the guy from the radio show?
No,
The radio
Adam.
fan
Adam
who's
is the
following us.
sound guy.
That's the sound tech that's been following you around.
Yeah, Adam is the American sound tech.
Oh, he probably knows I'm full of shit, but I'm going to start rambling anyway. Oh, that GM. Right. I'm very sorry, Vaughn. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cheating when people use different usernames on different
No,
platforms. Okay?
we
It's,
sort of wandered around with our hands out a bit like this. Yeah.
she's doing her full-on Johnny Smith thing, cruising over every surface.
Yeah. She's wandering through, just saying, yes, I feel a definite presence here. I feel anger, rage. She goes through a whole bunch of synonyms for anger.
Adam drops a bolt on the
She
ground.
is just, by this point, standing in front of the storage cupboard.
Okay. In front of the storage cupboard, huh?
Yeah, she was sort of had her eyes half closed as she was wandering about trying to look dramatic, and she ends up in front of the storage cupboard, and now she's just kind of got to go with it. But this is where the centre of the emotion is.
Right. Are you following Madame Beatrice around?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, both of you can make me a listen check, please.
Oh, they're all going insane.
What is my listen? Nope. Probably because I dropped a bolt on something metal and let it glance off and hit the floor just to try and freak her out.
Right. Spud, can Beatrice, in that case, please make me an idea check?
I don't think that worked. What is an idea check? Just another D100.
It is.
And she failed.
Essentially,
She failed everything so far.
Unless I say otherwise.
Living up to the character I imagined.
Yep, there's a lot of failure going on in this place. I think we just figured out why none of these guys have yet hit the big time. Or, in case of one, has fallen off what was the moderately big time.
I'm moderately good at making up ideas.
Okay, sorry, I just realised I had incredibly sarcastic eyebrows then. So, you both failed your listen checks, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. And we're very happy about this.
Okay.
Daft question, Drop. Sorry to interrupt. If I don't
Please.
say it when I think of it, I'll forget it. Did we do any background research in terms of looking for newspaper cuttings about the house?
Yes.
Excellent.
And I will allow you a retrospective for anyone who was doing research, who had done research, a retrospective library use roll.
Advanced GMing techniques, flashback.
However, if you value what little remains of your own personal sanity, never ever open a game with a flash forward, because making time line up is a nightmare. Have done it, not doing it again.
I failed that roll anyway.
I would love to make a library use roll, but Adrian's idea of research is to look through the viewfinder before he presses record.
I somewhat scarily did make a library use roll.
Okay.
Rather scarily did, Eddie. Maybe he found it difficult to get to sleep the night he was parked out front and he was reading up.
Okay. Would the Cosmic Intern like to make me a library use roll, please?
I can't escape it, can I?
Nope.
Okay, I have a relatively good library thing as well.
That's a shame. That's
yeah, I succeeded by quite a bit actually. Where's my library?
Is he Nicolas Cage in The Intern Out of Space?
that trailer looks bonkers.
Wait, what trailer?
There is
Cover Out of Space with Nick Cage in it.
Yes.
Oh!
The same crew and indeed star, of course, who did Mandy, which is the most neon-soaked noir you've seen in a long time.
I mean, it is
sort of
dark
gothic.
and obnoxious colour, so...
Given that it's Nick Cage in a film based on a Lovecraft story, I just want him to at some point say, he has all the sand now, sir.
Yes! Yes! And for anybody who's ever seen The Rock. Okay, so, your library use rolls, your clippings. You have managed to find a couple of legitimate stories which, over and above what the letting agent has told you, seem to have relevance. One is from a purely local paper, probably a circulation of about 60. Think Sub-Thanet Gazette. And it talks about a couple who were complaining that their landlord refused to address the issue of rodents under the stairs at the property. Yep, the trailer came out today. Or last night, I think.
I know what I'm doing after this.
Yeah. I can advise drinking heavily before watching it because it's just, oh, okay, my eyes are now bleeding. It looks fun.
It's not that bad, but it does look fun.
Yeah, I've seen Mandy, mate. I know what's coming.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that. I must watch it.
Yes, you need to watch it next time you're over. So, yes, this features a very depressed-looking couple doing, what's the term? Compo face?
Yep.
Doing the whole, looking depressed, and a nice big inset picture of a household rat. Not representative of anything that's been found.
Yeah.
Just in case you were dubious about what a rat actually
was.
They were complaining that basically their relatively new house has been plagued by the sounds of rats under the stairs. They have asked for exterminators to come round, but the landlords are denying that there is a problem.
It's plagued by the sounds. Did they actually ever see any rats? Does the article say?
It says that they have not caught any.
Cool.
And they were after compensation for having had to fork out for their own traps, which failed to catch any. So that's the main. That's the most noteworthy one.
Should take some pictures underneath the stairs.
Yeah, I was just looking. It doesn't look like there is anything like a cupboard under the stairs. Is there?
Not quite. Basically, the entranceway leads past where the cupboard under the stairs would be. But there's no cupboard under the stairs per se. There is a storage cupboard next to the downstairs loo. But that's where the electricity meter lives.
So all the trip switches are in that storage
that's where
cupboard by the
all the
loo as well.
Yeah, that's where all the trips
so
are.
we turned off the power.
Yeah. But so far as anyone knows, there's no actual cupboard under the stairs.
Double check that. When I get back from our trip out with the PFY and Eddie, I'm just going to double check that there isn't a door that's been papered over, either on the garage side or on the stairwell side.
Okay.
I will do that when I get back.
Yep, I will get back to you in the mo there.
Yep.
So, the Cosmic Intern, Isaac the Cosmic Intern, has located previously a historical society piece, which was written for a subscription magazine, where they were bemoaning the construction of the new estate, which is where you're standing, Gastbury, over the ruins of an old and storied grange. And they felt that it should have been given access, or they should have been given access to do proper archaeological digs before the estate went up.
The usual stuff.
Mm-hmm. The details consist of their court case in attempting to stop the developers building, which was thrown out when it was revealed that actually a previous thing was built on the site. This is not straight from manor Grange House to estate. This went Grange House, storage facility, estate. It had already been built on and dug up. Exactly, Chrono.
So there's probably a sub-basement.
So, that's that. So your 1 hour Photoshop. 1 hour Photoshop? Yes, literally 1 hour Photoshop.
Yeah. Apparently they're still a thing.
They are. I hate you so much.
Sorry, quoting riff tracks now.
Yeah. On Birdemic, I think.
Many of the people that just don't trust digital cameras.
They do still exist. But there's a limit. So fishy.
I'm trying to think when I got my first digital cam, because I think it must have been about 1992.
Yeah. But they were expensive. They were.
Oh god, yeah. So yeah, this first round will have just been ordinary film,
Okay.
1 or 200 ASA.
Right. You get nothing that is better than the photos that were produced by the letting agents.
Well, that's not right. That should not happen.
It's got the same slightly granular quality, and the girl at the photo shop is apologising profusely, which, by the way, she is doing like this because you can't talk.
When she starts doing that, he has around his neck a lanyard which has two things on it. One is his ID from the production company.
Okay.
And the other one is, as specified in episode 0, I think I specified it in episode 0, he has a small laminated card. He will only show her the side that says, I cannot speak, but I hear just fine.
Okay. At which point she goes very red, stops apologising, and asks for her £5.50.
He will pay. And he will
Very,
also
very British.
just scratch out a quick note saying, not your fault, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm guessing that was a knock on Tal's door because she just blanked out.
Yep.
Yeah, because I may never get an opportunity to use it during the course of this, I will just point out to those who don't already know that the other side of the laminated card reads, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Actually, I think you'll come up with some very good opportunities to use that when you're...
Yes, I think that'll get a lot of use. You might want to
I think
make
Eddie,
a proper just hold it up to the camera.
yeah, I think Eddie might get quite familiar with that side of the card. I'm guessing.
I got brownie.
You got brownies. That's cheating.
You can see with the class.
I'd like one.
Yes, please.
No, it's mine.
Oh,
Not by you.
Need to bribe the GM award.
In the interest of staying off any list, I'm going to say nothing about wanting a brownie. It's not a good thing for a middle-aged man to say.
No. Okay, moving swiftly on. So, your photos are buggered. You've got a couple of articles basically complaining about the history of the house, or history of the site rather. The presence of unidentified rodentia, and a couple of small clips, literally sort of 3-liners in the local roundup, but they do occur a few times. That once again, you know, people are being feckless and pulling out of their contracts and abandoning tenancies for no good reason and with no notice. The objection basically being, how exactly are poor, honest landlords to earn their keep?
There are honest landlords. There are poor, honest landlords. I suppose if they're honest, they would be poor.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, the internet is not happy today, is it?
no, what is that?
Is the internet ever happy?
Not if you believe its comments.
There speaks someone who's read the comments of any YouTube video ever.
Yeah, never read the comments. Right. So, we are moving on. So, as the afternoon wears on, you can now set up any props.
After the 1-hour photo thing, Adrian will be heading back in a bit of a mood and immediately dive into the gear that he doesn't normally mess with too much and find an EM meter. Because there's got to be something interfered with his camera. So he's going to be wandering around the house with an EM meter in one hand and a Polaroid in the other.
I think Eddie et al. Will probably be arriving back shortly before then.
Okay. So, Adrian's stomping. You come in and you hear unidentified banging in the house, which you then immediately identify when Adrian crosses the stairwell at the top, and you realise quite what's going on. Stamping around the house in big boots, and this place is all laminate flooring. So,
Quality architecture.
and it's not even nice laminate flooring. It's the cheap stuff. It's, may once have sat next to a tree in storage when it was being shipped.
It was also probably put there after the house was built. The floor underneath might be decent.
You are free to believe that if you wish.
I will, because I'm American.
Yep. Concrete floors covered in laminate. But essentially, if you're in the hard-soled shoe, it is impossible to move around quietly. This is going to give Adam a very bad time.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyone who's in trainers can sneak. I don't imagine Beatrice is going to be in trainers.
Nor the props guy.
I've
Because
unfortunately
steel
already
toe-cap trainers
specified
weren't a thing back
boots.
then.
Yeah.
It's okay, I've isolated all of these sounds before. I'll just make sure that I know who's walking where and which shoes they're wearing.
You can probably identify just by foot. Okay, that's Bri. That's
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, you can indeed. Yes, you can go around and, that's Isaac, and that's Eddie, and that's Beatrice, and that's Bryson,
Of
and
course.
that's Adrian.
Yeah, that's Robocop. Oh no, sorry,
And
it's the
that's
guy carrying
Bryson.
80 pounds of camera gear.
Yep. I'm the only person not wearing shoes. I'm wearing socks.
Okay, just as a public safety
On
announcement.
laminate flooring?
laminate.
Bam!
Yeah.
Please believe me, this is a bad idea. Speaking
Yeah.
as someone whose
He's going to
flat...
take a run up from carpet to laminate and slid across the floor.
Fun and games, yeah.
Yeah, we used to have
Who needs
laminate
ice
in our
rings?
flats.
I'm well aware of how
Yeah,
laminated is.
I like to imagine that despite all the fancy attire that would be
Please
shot
turn.
in terms of like Edwardian dress up top, he's actually just got like a pair of jogging bottoms and some plimsolls on his feet.
That's awesome.
So
Sorry,
I
Cal.
think-
Turn the chase scenes that are bound to come into a Scooby-Doo scene.
What, you reckon everyone's feet are going to be going wildly and no one's going to be
Wear
going
those
anywhere?
socks on laminate floor. Yeah. Yep.
Scooby-Doo Call of Cthulhu sounds fun.
Call of Scooby-Doo.
It really does.
Cthulhu.
No, remember, we've got Jurassic Park Call of Cthulhu. We've already got that
Yeah.
on the back burner.
Wait, Jurassic Park is next.
Back burner
I think
nothing, mate. That's on the
Cthulhu has
to-do
to be a
list.
thing, though.
Yes. Okay. What are you setting up? Where are you setting it up? And make me an electronics roll, please, Adrian.
Okay. I'm not setting up, I'm doing spot tests around the house.
No, I
rather
was
than
assuming
setting
you
up
were
somewhere.
going around with the EM meter.
With the
in a
EM meter,
strop.
yeah.
This is more of a strop test than a
Probably,
spot test.
probably also with his photos, looking to see whether some of them are worse than others. And if so, he'll want to check the areas that had the most distortion, or the most washed out,
Okay.
with the EM meter, and taking Polaroids there as well to see how they come out.
Right.
And if I'm making an electronics roll, I have 56 electronics, and unfortunately I rolled a 78, so I have no idea how you make this damn thing work.
No, it's got an on button.
Click.
It's got an on button, and it's got a little dial. And it makes a noise.
Brilliant.
It does indeed have a little dial labelled 1 to 10, broken into 100 increments. But it doesn't, unfortunately, indicate what that means. You don't know how it's calibrated. The dial seems to calibrate it, makes it more or less sensitive, but again, you're not sure. And every time the thing spikes, it makes a woo noise.
In that case, I'm going to walk out into the garden,
Okay.
and I'm going to calibrate it in the garden to 0, and then come back in and see what it does.
Okay. So you head out into the back garden, which is not over large. And indeed.
Actually,
you
no, I don't want to go
calibrate-
into the back garden, because the back garden might be affected. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go onto the street, out onto the pavement. I've calibrated out the front.
Okay. Oh, yes. See, Krander's on my wavelength. What can I say? Okay, so you basically close there on the street, so that's fine. As you walk in, having calibrated it to an ambient 0, and having stepped away from the street lamp outside, which was buggering up your responses, you walk in, and the meter immediately buries the needle.
And makes horrible noises.
Horrible, terrible noises. And then flicks back to nothing. Without you moving or touching anything. These things need to come with mute buttons. It's like smoke alarms.
Well, in that case, since that seemed to be triggered by my walking in, I'll walk out and back in again, obviously.
Okay.
We're not going to come back, and it's just going to be back and forth.
The cameraman is just walking in and out of the house for no reason.
Yeah, every time you come in through the front door. Woo!
Right, okay, I shall switch it off, put it down, and start examining around the front door to see if there's some sort of... I mean, I don't know why somebody would fit, apparently, an X-ray machine from the airport into this front door, but that appears to be what's happened.
Have you tried standing in the front door? Just like standing in without walking through it?
Picking at the fish and chips from his van and seeing this wonderful
Try that.
activity of Adrian walking back and forward on the front door while looking at something.
He hasn't even got a free hand, unfortunately, because he's got the Polaroid in one hand and the EM meter in the other. So he can't even tell you what he's doing.
What's going on?
Yeah, handing him something is the equivalent of a gag.
Right, you guys are still wandering around the house, the rest of you, so Beatrice and Adam. So, upstairs... My bots only mean to me normally.
Okay, so I sign to Adrian what's going on.
Sorry,
Adrian will give
before you
a...
do that, you guys upstairs, especially Adam, can hear woo, woo, woo.
Well, I've got nothing better to do now that I've done my preliminary wander of the house, so I'm going to see who's making all that racket.
Okay.
It's just Adrian doing something weird.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna mess up the conversation that we were just having. Darn. It's gonna be a bitch to clean up.
Right, hang on one sec. Slightly annoyingly, I've got a knock at the door.
Hey, did you ever open that cupboard to see if there was anything in there?
Nobody has. Back in the mug.
I didn't want to interfere with the energies of the house just yet.
Because walking into the house wouldn't interfere with the energies.
As one door opens, another closes.
Adam is trying really hard not to lose his shit.
She knows that you all know she's full of shit, but she won't admit it.
I have to say, the second that drawers came up, all I could think of was Anoia from Terry Pratchett, who is the goddess of things getting stuck in drawers.
Oh my god.
So the drawer's stuck, but it'll be a ladle that's slightly got wedged. It's just been left by a previous tenant.
Well, having responded, signing to you, listen, Jake, Adrian will, of course, then do it again. He'll make the noise.
So you're making the noise yourself?
No, he's using the machine to make the noise. Then he's putting it back down again, as he had just done before being asked what was going on, and going back to examining the door frame. If nobody stops him, he might go as far as getting out a multi-tool and trying to take the door frame apart to see if there's anything inside it.
I will say...
Just looking for panels that look like they'll unscrew.
Yeah, I will say you actually have no permission to damage the property.
Yeah? And
Yeah, the question is, does he care?
Yeah, sorry about having to pop off. Apparently the local pizza place doesn't know where the next door's flat is. I would have thought the door numbers would have been...
Follow the pizza.
Well, that should have been a sufficient clue. The door
Logic
numbers.
to the damn thing. Otherwise I would have confiscated the pizza. It was price.
yeah, you just say yes and take it, don't
Yeah.
you?
But no, unfortunately, Dratty is allergic to the pizza. And Dratty now wants pizza. So I feel
Well,
safe
you could have
on
taken the pizza and scraped off all of the cheese, which
Yeah.
would unfortunately have resulted in scraping off the whole of the topping.
There is that.
But then you'd have had a pizza base.
Well, that's a bit of work to do a pizza base.
Why would you
It's a good
do anything
foundation to
to
start
You
from.
just eat it all.
It is.
All the food.
Yes, allergic to pizza, allergic to cheese.
People eat things that they're allergic to all the time.
I like the skin on my face. I quite like it not
Yeah.
to fall off. Have you ever seen Poltergeist? The bit where the guy's
Radioactive
clawing his
now.
own face off? That's actually me when I've had milk. So,
Very true that people eat things they're allergic to all the time. A whole pizza, not so good.
no. So, brownies and pizza so far.
I don't recommend them together necessarily. I don't think brownies make a good pizza topping.
You can make
But
a
I've
good
not tried
pizza
it,
out
so
of
I don't
that,
know.
though.
Yes. There are dessert pizzas. I didn't.
They are a travesty.
It varies. The apple pie pizza's nice. Okay.
Apple pie pizza.
Apple pie pizza, indeed.
What just happened?
Apple
A
and
sudden
cinnamon.
image appeared on my screen.
What?
What is this?
I see chicks. Set up a virtual camera.
A Watford! My screen just grew really
I
big and
mean,
there was
that
Watford.
probably has one of those.
That's my fault.
Jick is screen sharing.
Yes.
Jick is confusing the bejesus out of me. Hang on.
It's a Sony Walkman.
Are we sure
Ah,
that
right,
it's
okay.
I mean, it could have been a spirit that did that.
The thing is, I'm trying to invoke creepiness, and the next thing I hear is, "What is this?" An image has appeared on my screen. And I'm thinking, "Wow, I'm just transmitting now." Okay, fair enough. We get the picture. Unfortunately, it's
Yeah.
also going to be eating up all the bandwidth in the universe.
Say,
So,
was there a purpose to sharing that? Because if not, I recommend the unshare
I'm
button.
just wondering how to turn it off. It was an accidental click as I was.
Hang on, I'm trying to remember. I think. Yeah, I
Aha!
like that.
Yay!
It's dead.
yeah.
I'm very sorry. That was an accidental click on my part.
Yeah. No, I've done the same thing myself. I know that it's fairly easy.
Yeah,
Yep,
it
yep.
is.
It's right next to the cross button on like
Pardon me.
exit button or whatever you want to call it.
Fish, the answer is yes. Should you wish to what you asked in chat. And
Well, it's a bit late now, surely, because I'm doing something else now. But
fair play. Sorry, I hadn't seen that. There's a limit to how many things I can keep track
that's
of
all right.
at once.
that's
I
the
know.
disadvantage you see with using digital forms of passing notes to the GM. Is when you actually physically pass a note to the GM, you know they've seen it.
Yeah.
Or ignored it.
I wouldn't necessarily ignore it. I would, however, wonder where my phone is. Because you might do better actually Facebook messaging me.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Because I'm more likely to see that. Right. Anything else like that will get push notification to my phone. So, you guys are upstairs. Can I ask, as you've been in and out of the rooms, downstairs is basically open plan. Upstairs, obviously, the bedrooms have doors, as does, shockingly, the bathroom. So, who Are you leaving the doors open or are you leaving the doors closed?
Oh, I close the doors behind me when I go into a room.
And when you leave the room?
Especially after the open door comment by Beatrice.
Right, so you're closing the doors as well after you leave them. So all
Yeah.
the
Long story
doors-
short, she thinks you can let the ghosts out by leaving doors open.
It traps the ghosts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's up there
I
with...
don't want them to escape.
No, for Harry.
You see, that is up there with my sister, who once, when chased by a wasp, ran in through the garden gate, shut the garden gate, and said, "Now it can't get in."
How old was your sister at the time?
32.
6.
Oh,
Admittedly,
that's a
she was
Okay.
6. But even so, we stood at her and went, "You do know they can fly." Right, in that case, can I please have a listen check from Beatrice?
Oh boy, here we go again. Watch as Beatrice. No, failed.
Okay. And
We're doing an amazing job of surviving, guys.
I know. And can
I
I
feel
also...
like, what if we managed to make it through this entire session and just never find the monsters?
Right?
And can I also have a spot hidden, please?
Haha.
No, that was a 95. That was real bad.
Oh my god.
We've managed to skin our characters in such a way that we have the minimum possible points in all the skills that will get us killed or driven insane.
No, that's absolutely fine.
That's also why we are a B rated.
Why you got no real fans yet. So, Beatrice, it's
Oh,
fine. You don't see anything that could possibly disturb you.
Of course not. We know it's all fake anyway.
Yep, you don't see anything at all. You feel, however, a cold wind wash over you.
Somebody's clearly left a door open.
No, I closed the doors.
That wasn't actually out loud. You're just thinking someone's clearly left the door open, and after I impressed the importance of keeping the doors closed to them.
Wasn't out loud, and yet he responded anyway.
And yet.
Ooh, maybe I'm the psychic.
Yeah, he really.
Bubbity, bubbity, bing, bing, bing.
So bibbidi bobbidi boo was that?
Something like that.
Now I want to have a goth rock version of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. For reasons known to somebody else. Someone's probably done it. It's probably on YouTube. So, yeah, you have a directionless wind wash coldly over you. And then stop.
She just,
But because unfortunately you didn't make your spot hidden, you don't know where it's coming from.
yeah.
It's just a whoosh. So,
Is she making the same facial expressions you are currently making?
what, really grumpy? I feel dissatisfied with the situation overall. It's what I strongly have coming from Tal.
Satisfied with the situation. I'm just understanding that I'm possibly seeing my impending doom.
I need to stop doing that. I just look evil. Right.
Excellent.
So that's you upstairs. So after the... So are you actually taking a multi-tool to the doorframe?
Well, there was.
We've got no. I was just looking. We've got no picture of the door frame. What kind of a door? Is it UPVC? Because if so, he's not going to get anywhere.
It's
with it.
UPVC.
Oh. In that case, he will take out his multi-tool, examine the door frame, and then curse in his head.
Right. Plastic.
Essentially.
Yeah. It's the standard plastic windows and doors.
Oh, okay.
0 maintenance. Modern houses tend to be built with them, and older houses tend to have them eventually get replaced into them from wood.
But it means it's going to be kind of a sealed unit, really.
They are. Yeah, UPVC double glazing is halfway reasonable soundproofing, and it is indeed sealed units.
Yeah.
Oh,
So opening it up and looking for wires is not really going to work, which is what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sealed units, but some of the older UPVC double glazing have a on the outside the track that seals the glass in. With the right tooling, you can pull the track out and just lift the glass out.
Yeah, they're not actually constructed as a single piece, obviously, but they're just really, really difficult to get apart unless you have the right tools.
Yeah. Right.
What he is going to do, however, I'm sure he must have a stud finder somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that to the door frame, looking for cabling.
If you don't, Bryson does.
Yeah, there'll be one, certainly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his next step is to take a stud finder to the door frame.
So you're going to have to head to the garage, which is where all the tools and stuff have been dumped.
Yep, fair enough.
I'm just watching this.
Right.
This
so
is
the
where
door is shut.
Looking from afar.
So this is where the wonderful, as I accidentally meant to show it as I was looking up, the wonderful yellow Walkman comes into play.
Yeah.
Because it's also an AM/FM radio Walkman. I did find out it was around in 1992.
Yep.
Yep, was indeed.
And he's going to fetch that because he doesn't trust this EM meter thing. He doesn't know what it is, and he's going to kind of hang around, like, kind of go between the front, basically go through the door multiple times, tuning the FM band and the AM band to different frequencies.
Okay. As you go through the door, and everybody's in and out of this front damn door, the neighbours are just going to be going, well...
Especially Adrian, who's gone in and out of the front damn door about 12 times in the last 2 minutes.
As Eddie goes through the front door, whatever channel he's on, there is a... literally as he steps over the threshold. And yes, Walkmans existed in 1992 because CD Walkmans have been in for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very much a tape.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking back to what I was doing in 1992 on the subject of Walkmans existing, and realised that's when I was working in Tandy selling the damn things.
That was when I was doing my RFTV course.
Yeah. You didn't film any haunted houses, did you?
Well, the disused hospital we filmed the paintballing at was a candidate, if anywhere
Close,
was.
yeah.
I'm gonna, because Adam's upstairs at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Adam is indeed upstairs.
I'm going to call up to Adam because I know he's the audio tech.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adam, can you come and have a look at this for us?
Oh, right. Sorry. I was like, what to do? Hearing my name. Nope, that's not my name.
Adam.
Yeah, I'll be down in a minute. You want me to leave you in this room alone?
You're currently on the landing.
Oh,
you two.
Okay. Yeah, I'll head down.
Okay.
What do you want me to look at?
I'll give Adam the headphones, the Walkman, and ask him to walk in and out of the door and listen to the interference.
Okay.
Is that going to cause problems for the broadcast? Not recording it, because ideally we want a shot of me going into the house.
I also start one of my recorders, one of my fresh recorders, as I walk in and out.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through listening to it, and I hear that same sound.
Yeah, you'll see it on the meter.
And what happens if I just stand in the door? Right when it reaches that high pitch, I stop.
It reaches the high pitch and then just dies out.
It still dies out regardless? Well, this will probably be a problem. This is going to be worse than you guys walking around with your shoes. Oh.
What is causing that? Eddie,
I don't know.
Adam, what?
Could it be the lintel?
Well, I want to try something else. I rewind the tape in the recorder and play it back. Does anything show up on the recorder?
There is a...
I try and play it back slower.
Sounds like slower static.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to go to a window, open the window, and then I'm going to take the recorder and set it to record, put it through the window, and then back, and see if it does the same thing through a window.
On the front windows. There is a...
Great. And then I walk quietly to the garage and try it through the garage door.
Okay. Before you do that, Adrian,
Yes.
the power's off. The garage has no exterior windows.
Flashlight.
You-
Worst case scenario, the bleeding great flood that I've got attached to the top of my camera, which is in the garage.
Right, make me a spot hidden, please.
Okay.
Before
I
you
actually
open
got
the-
20
We will find something eventually.
Yeah. Before you open the garage door, also there's a message for Beatrice in the chat.
That looks
Well-
bad, fishy. Oh, hello.
I think you passed that
I
one.
put points into spot hidden. I have 55
Listen.
spot hidden.
Oh,
Whoops.
92 is not less than 55. Last time I checked.
You are safe.
No, I'm not safe. I probably just tripped over half the gear and broken my leg.
Okay. So, you open the door and using the flashlight, the flash on the top of your camera, you can make your way to the toolbox and hoik out a mag light. Because I've never encountered a props tech who didn't have at least one mag light.
Yeah.
I think I specified a 4-cell.
You did, yeah. Oh, great! You're all sorted in case
There will be-
werewolves turn up. Frankly,
There will be
That's why I
assorted
specified a
lighting
4-cell.
options.
yeah,
There will definitely be
Worst case,
assorted
we've got a
lighting
bunch
options
of-
in my gear.
yeah. Obviously,
Because we haven't got a separate lighting man.
no. So you're going to be
Which
handling
means
the
that-
lighting rigs.
Adrian's going to have to handle stuff like that. So he's going to have... You're not full lighting rigs because that's not the kind of shoot that we're doing. But lights of various kinds. Including, as I say, a spot mounted on top of the camera.
Yeah.
As I'm obviously at the front door at this point, whilst Adam's gone away, do I hear any commotion from the garage?
You don't hear anything at all. No. Are you shutting the garage door behind you, Fish? When you go in to root around for gear, or are you leaving it open?
I think, to be honest, given that it's pitch dark in the garage, when I found the torch, I'm going to open the garage door so I can see.
Use the torch to find the door. That's logical.
Right. But in the meantime, as you walk in, are you pulling the door shut behind you?
Of course I'm bloody not.
Is that Fishy saying that, or is that Adrian saying that?
and you're just signing at the sky.
Yes. Wow, you just said that to God? Good Lord. Insert deity of choice here. Right, okay, so you're not closing the door behind you. That's fine.
No, I am just going into the garage, finding a
Okay.
light, opening the main doors to the street so that I can see anything, and then finding... I forgot what I even came in here for now. Stud finder.
Yes.
Or was that earlier?
No, that was the stuff finder. That's what you were looking for.
Seeing as that by this point, because obviously we've had the period where we were away, had lunch, a late lunch, and come back. It's probably kind of getting on in the afternoon.
I was thinking we went out and we brought lunch back so that Beatrice and Adrian had something.
Yes, yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're probably
and
still
me.
not that far into the afternoon yet.
Well, Adrian probably grabbed himself some lunch while he was waiting
Yeah, and
for
Adam
his
as well,
photo
sorry.
to be developed.
Right, Beatrice. Now you are alone upstairs.
I think I'm alone now.
I'm told it's worrying when I smile pleasantly at people. I don't quite know why.
Yes, it is.
So your listen of 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may not have made rolls, but my dice apparently listen to me.
Oh no.
We'll force you to hear.
And that actually was a legit roll.
Well, I wonder is it doing with legit rolls? It is on an online dice finder though, so I don't know. Like sometimes they can act a bit funky.
I actually do have my dice with me. I do like my multi dice. So
Well, the GM has loaded dice too.
GM has real dice. I don't own any loaded dice. I can find any if I could. No, you can buy them. I just don't see the point. So that's there. So that's that side. You can hear a scratching and a scrabbling.
Ugh. Think it's rats.
That would be a reasonable assumption.
She's getting downstairs away from the sounds of the scrabbly rats.
Okay.
Unless they're downstairs sounds.
No, they appear to be coming from one of the bedrooms. But you'd need to actually investigate to
Somebody
figure
lock
out
the
which one.
intern in there?
You know, you could. Which one is the guy in charge again? I've forgotten. It's Eddie.
I see how it is.
Yep.
Eddie's the presenter. Yep.
Eddie. Next time, can we at least send in an exterminator before we come in here?
It's a rural house.
I can
You know,
hear
you
rats.
get things like field mice, earwigs.
Rats, Eddie.
Are you sure it was a rat?
I didn't go and look. If that's what you're asking.
Because most people, I mean, they're very similar. One's a bit smaller than the other one, but field mice and rats are very similar. I get field mice in the van all the time. You know, they're harmless.
I am so not shocked by that revelation. Imagine there's this whole thriving ecosystem in that van.
On the really cold nights, the cockroaches go and climb on your head for warmth.
On your head for warmth.
There's no cockroaches in my van, thank you.
That you know of.
Except the one that drives it.
And as far as they're concerned, that's the end of the matter.
Right, okay, so, Shard, you've headed into the garage.
Mm-hmm. I shut the door behind me.
Okay. The
I have
garage
the
is...
flashlight.
you don't need the torch at the moment because the front door of the main door of the garage is wide open. All your gear is open to the air. And Adrian is rooting around in Bryson's toolbox.
Adrian, Beatrice said if we don't close the doors behind us, the ghosts will get out. That's fine. I walk up to the open garage door and I proceed to step back and forth and the same test to see if the noise changes or if it's the exact same.
Actually, sorry, where is Bryson at this moment in time?
Where is Bryson at this moment in time? We can't hear you.
That's better.
Yep, let's try that again. I thought it was getting quiet from your end. Where's Bryson at the moment?
I was just trying to work that out. I think wherever the most amount of noise and activity is, which I'm guessing at this point is going to be the garage.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, what are you looking for?
He will sign something at you.
I can read a
Right.
sign.
He could just
You
wait.
you want the other toolbox, left-hand side, just lift it up, open it out, left-hand side, you can't miss it. As soon as Adrian's turned around, I'm doing that.
Surely if he wants a stub finder, you could just wave a Jackie Cooper novel at him. Is that not right?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
We're such a happy family.
Yep, you are very much a family. You're dysfunctional and the kids hate you, and there's this dodgy old uncle with a van who you're not entirely sure what the deal is. But he tells
You have a
you...
wine aunt in Beatrice.
Yes!
You have a wine aunt.
Yes, oh god, I feel Beatrice definitely has at least one bottle stashed in her overnight bag. She's there to feel the spirits. So,
Hey.
Sounds like a plan.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
too early to do that yet.
So yes, you can indeed find the stud finder. And I
Good.
want the production crew, who aren't Adrian, who's wandering around on his own mission, to decide where you're placing things like EM meters, microphones, cameras in the house.
I still haven't figured out how you get from the entrance to the house.
I'm glad you haven't either. If they
Looking
did-
at the floor plan, there seems to be no connection between the entrance hall and the lounge at all.
I know. If they had a 360-degree tour of this house on the website I may have acquired these photos from, I would have gone through it purely to figure out why.
One would assume that there is a doorway in the segment between the stairwell where it shows wall and the open plan lounge diner.
But looking at the photograph, there
Yeah,
doesn't appear to be.
It doesn't.
I know.
Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend.
We actually have
I've been
a
racking my
Cthulhu
brains over this
Wait a
whole
minute.
section.
This was
What you're saying is that you did all this research and you found a
Yep.
genuine Cthulhuid house.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, apparently doing a Winchester developers or something.
It has non-Euclidean geometry. You
Yeah.
just walk through the door and end up in the room you want to be magically.
Yeah.
Yep.
The storage room isn't, it's actually the teleporter.
Sparkle tinkle.
In terms of positioning stuff, I'm setting up microphones in each of the rooms above the door jamb in the corner
Okay.
so that it picks up the people walking in and walking out and whatever's in that room.
Okay.
And running the cords along the side so that they're out of view of any cameras.
Okie dokie.
Oh yeah, that's the point. We need to go into our psychic vision and make the wall disappear.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we need to do.
You also didn't say whether or not the same sounds happened when I was going through the garage door, since that's on the opposite side of the house to the
Yes.
front door. Yeah?
Yep. Did indeedy.
Okay. Does it happen when I just walk through a normal door inside the house?
It depends on the door. Potentially.
Hmm.
Where did you have in mind? You've got, certainly downstairs, you've got the loo, you've got the storage cupboard.
I go into the storage cupboard and shut the door. After checking for the sound.
Oh, do you now?
The teleporter's going to activate now.
I'm going to teleport.
So, you walk into this door with no exterior windows. Into this room with no exterior windows. You haven't got a torch, and you close the door behind you.
Darkness enveloped.
I have a torch.
He did say he's got a torch. I heard him say.
I did give Eddie his Walkman back, and I'm using my own.
Okay. So, yep, the room is dark, and you hear a smaller but significant as you step through the doorway. Make me a listen check, please. I like
I
Adrian.
would have followed Adrian round. Watched him do that. I'm going to take the sign off the door. What do you mean?
Okay, he will write on another piece of paper. Listen. And then he'll get the EM meter and do the beepy thing again.
Are you sure you're using it right? I'll put the time back on the door and I'll start playing with the EM meter.
Okay. Yep, it's as far as you can tell. You need to make me an electronics roll. So
Yeah, I failed my listen, by the way.
you failed your listen because of course you did. Because of course.
I rolled a 77. I critically failed my listen.
Why would anyone make a listen check in this entire damn game?
Apparently not.
I'm telling you, we're just going to leave and not notice anything's wrong. Like, maybe the intern will disappear, but we won't care.
Everyone will notice, yeah.
Would you like
Get
me
more
to,
wimpy, it's fine.
would you like me
We'll
to
assume
roll?
that Eddie's locked him in a cupboard.
If it's any consolation, I made the electronics roll.
Excellent, thank you.
Progress.
As you move the EM meter across the threshold,
Yep.
it indeed produces a significant but not sustained spike in electromagnetic radiation.
Okay.
While he's doing
It's
this,
similar to the level that if somebody switched on an old CRT right next to it, that's the sort of level you're looking at. I don't know if you've ever put an EM meter next to a CRT, but that's a fun thing. They make very bad noises.
Adrian is ready for this because he knows what he's going to do. So as he steps across the threshold with the EM meter, he
Polaroid?
snaps a Polaroid.
Yep.
Oh, fucking hell, what you...
I'm going to say it's as he steps out because I don't feel like
Yeah,
getting
it doesn't matter
invited.
which way. It just
Adrian just doesn't give a monkeys, does he?
not really. No.
Baffled, kind of going, what?
To be fair, it does matter to me because if I'm walking into it, there is going to be a flash going off in my face.
Yeah, doesn't
Okay.
matter to me.
Okay, so Beatrice, as you come downstairs to the open plan living room,
Listen, check.
you see Adrian snapping a photo of Bryson's back as Bryson walks back and forth through the front door, holding up one of the strange electrical devices that you've never particularly been bothered by, which is making wailing noises as he does so.
Yeah, that seems about right. It just seems like usual, to be honest.
Outside,
Nothing better to do, so she's going to hang around and watch. But
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if this would be usual for us. We normally don't find problems like this.
true.
No, you
We'd be good at our job.
normally you rely on Bryson to construct problems
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. You'll note Adrian is not convinced that there is some kind of a spirit or anything, or a manifestation here. Adrian is worried that there's something that's going to mess with his camera.
Yeah.
Right, so your Polaroid pops out.
Adrian, while you're drawing that Polaroid, is there anything other than me that's moving through this doorway that you've seen? Have you seen anything? Just shake your head or something. Okay, fine.
Yep. Yeah, I've used Polaroids.
This detects electromagnetic fields. Now, the power's off.
What is happening? Like,
So there's
half the
nothing
screen's
in the house
froze
that's
and the
generating
other
magnetic
people
field.
who are there are just shaking their hand.
So unless you've got something
Adrian's drawing a Polaroid.
sorry, passing through a magnet, you're not going to be generating, because that's how induction works at a layman's level. Then you're not going to be generating anything. So there's got to be something moving when we're taking this through the doorway, other than us, to generate the field for this to pick up. Got to be something.
Right, yeah. Sorry, Tal, I think your signal dropped out for a minute.
Ooh, it did, yeah.
It did. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, you come back and Adrian's basically doing the funky chicken over here. Yeah, Adrian is.
Oh, on the cameras, I had no sound, but I could see him and Shard just doing this, and then the other cameras were frozen.
Yeah. Well, that was probably he was spellcasting.
I was calling Bryson a wanker.
Yes.
Well, definitely can.
Right. So yes, you. Yes, basically he's been just drawing off a Polaroid photo he took of Bryson as Bryson went through with the EM meter, went through the front door because he's still checking on the spiking. So The photo.
The photo.
The photo. Front door. Frame. Front door on the inside. Bryson. From about the thigh backwards, judging by the angle you're at. Apparently, his front leg doesn't exist. And through the front door, you see open parkland.
Okay.
The
Now,
photo quality is the similar, same grainy quality as the rest of the house.
I'm predicting slightly here as a player, but would I be making a sand check by any chance?
You would be making indeed a sand check.
To say,
Also, your photograph only predicted the future. Bryson's going to lose a leg.
1 point, fish.
1 point.
Just a flesh wound.
Adam is meanwhile in the closet. Starts turning the
Maybe we'll
flashlight
make
on and off, speaking to himself. Ooh, spooky ghosts.
Maybe we'll make a somewhat strangled noise looking at the photo.
Yes, I can just see.
And immediately wave it under Bryson? Nose.
Oh no!
It's a really shit quality photo, Bryson. The cameraman obviously is not having a good day. So, beyond the front door, and you are basically filling much of the door,
Yeah.
you can see a park which stretches away and sloping down gently to a hedge, maybe 200 yards away. But it's
Okay.
getting fuzzy by that point. The whole picture looks like it was taken from a very bad reception TV.
Does the terrain look like it matches? Even though, I mean, what we've got is houses on it. Does the land itself follow that pattern as in the picture?
I would like you to make me a knowledge check, please. Actually, no, an idea check.
Not a geology check?
Oh, well, if you're going to do a thing, yeah. Yes.
No, I'll make the idea of knowledge if you want. I just
No,
want to
you've
double
got
check.
the, go for geology since you've got it.
What you've done.
I actually didn't put any points in it. I've just remembered.
Yeah.
I was just asking because I remember it being ticked. I thought, did I put any points in? I'll suggest. Oh shit, I didn't put any points in. So
If you
it's
didn't, then give me an idea check.
Christ, I should have gone geology.
Yeah? Right. Okay.
The one successful roll in this entire session.
Yep.
This is where I lose my marbles.
Right. You remember, yeah, you have a sudden flash. This is based on the research that you all did and ties into the library use that you made earlier. The image that you can see through the front door is consistent not only with the lie of the land as it stands, the estate opposite you slopes down slightly and away, but it ties up precisely with part of the grounds that you saw architectural, or you saw drawings of, an engraving of the old Grange. However, also with that roll on the idea check, you do notice something that, yes, is going to indeed induce a sanity check.
I thought it might.
Because there are door lights either side of the door. The slightly wafty, not quite obscured enough faux stained glass,
Mm-hmm.
which show the house opposite through them,
Yeah.
as opposed to the parkland through the door. So I would like a sand check coffee, please.
Adrian is going to be trying to take another Polaroid when there's nobody going through the door. He wants to see if it does the same thing just photographing through the doorway.
Right. I can't remember how sound checks work. I've got a SAN of 55
Yep.
and I rolled 77.
So you failed.
You failed that. So take a point of sanity loss.
Yikes.
And now next time when you roll, you're rolling for 54.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah, you're trying to roll equal to or less than your current san. Your current sanity, sorry. Your san stat doesn't change. Not unless you have, power damaging or enhancing things that can happen. And that doesn't generally happen in COC, but since I also own RuneQuest, you never know.
Ever slight, from Bryson as he tries to have his brain wrap around what he's just looked at.
Right.
You okay there?
Fish.
Frantic.
Adrian's sat there going like this. You can see the van, and you can see the cosmic intern having a crafty cigarette. In deference to our American player, I nearly said the crafty fag, but I'm not going to.
That's
In
a perfectly
the
sensible
driveway.
and useful phrase for describing the situation.
Yep. He's there doing the whole smoking his own roll-up that he's made far too thin.
Prison rollies.
And it was
Standard
probably
student.
constructed from what he was able to scrounge out of various pub ashtrays over the last week anyway.
Oh God.
I'm starting to pity the poor guy.
The pubby scrounging from wasn't anything
I
like
think
the shit.
Eddie's a smoker. He would quite happily, feed the habit of the young intern.
Oh my.
I'm very worried about Eddie and the intern. It's got to be said.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Oh, my.
definitely
It does
thinking
sound
there's a
like
story.
either a skiffle band or possibly a new talk show on ITV Saturday afternoon.
Eddie and the intern, yes. I can see that. 80s kidult.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got Adrian is off sorting out locations for microphones. Beatrice is standing wondering why nobody's paying attention to her having a moment.
Yes.
Well, everybody else apparently is having.
Boyfriend.
Well, everybody else is apparently having spiritual encounters.
Yeah.
Everyone but the medium.
Having any encounter with the supernatural.
There seems to be a photo being passed back and forth between Bryson and Adrian.
While that's going on, because I'm also in the entrance hall, the bathroom that's adjacent to it, can I open the door and turn the tap to see if there's any running water?
Right. Okay. Now, you haven't got a torch, have you?
No.
Cool.
There's no lights on the landing.
So
Oh,
you're
crap.
standing, you're in the entrance hall with everybody else, but there by the door, Beatrice is looking towards you from the living room. So as you step through the toilet door,
Yep.
you fetch up against a corrugated metal wall.
I will tap it. Actually, because I'm a bit perturbed about the rat comment, I'm going to tap it with my 5 fingers, like the kind of drumming. Kind of-
Beatrice, can you make me a spot? Well, actually, no. Yeah, what the hell? Let's let you do it and fail it. Beatrice, can you make me a spot hidden, please?
I can, but I will not succeed it.
I have faith in you. At some stage this evening, you will make a
No,
roll.
no, I would just tell me I did not succeed.
Sorry?
I rolled it and I did not succeed.
Oh,
I
right,
like the
okay,
fact that
sorry.
I only rolled the You rolled for her.
Okay.
This is just sad.
I'm quite impressed, actually. This is genuinely impressive that you've yet to make a single roll.
He's so self-absorbed
Yeah. Okay.
that she will never notice.
Yes, Jick. It's dark in here, and as you tap the metal wall ahead of you, it echoes a little. Your feet scrape on concrete.
I'm going to exclaim audibly, this bathroom's bloody horrible. Has anyone got a torch?
What do you expect?
Okay. So, what are the rest of you guys doing? You've heard nothing. Jick's gone to the loo, apparently, and...
Well, I've opened the door. I'm standing in the doorway.
No, you walked in, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
Well, Adrian
Adrian, could you do me a favour?
decided that he is from now onwards going in and out of this house through the garage.
Adrian, could you take a picture of me? A picture of the land at the other side of the door from outside of the house. You see, the picture that you took, the terrain matches the Grange that used to be here. There's no point in doing that because the door lights are fine. Forget I asked. It doesn't actually make a difference.
You guys are being awfully loud.
The toilet door's open, by the way, behind you guys. Toilet stands empty.
Do I get a spot hidden at all to know whether it ought to be?
Yeah.
Or was I too busy
Would
paying?
the same apply to myself?
Yes, why not?
Not that I'll pass a spot hidden,
Yeah.
but
I may.
no chance. Sorry, Jack. I failed that by 40 plus.
Okay, Adrian. The toilet stands dark and empty behind you. I say behind you, basically it's off the side, and you guys are in front of it next to the door. However, the door was shut when you came past. Now it's open.
Well, I've got a torch, so I will shine my torch into the dim, lightless recesses of the toilet.
Okay,
Which toilet is this? The one downstairs or upstairs?
downstairs.
It's the one down
The one with no windows.
So I hear him going to shine his light in there, walking up to it,
Yep.
and I jump out of the storage, try and spook him.
You bastard!
Okay. You can leap out, and indeed, Fishy, Adrian, and yeah, what the hell, Bryson as well, can make me idea checks.
Idea, is it?
Now that I can do
Yeah.
Easy.
by 32.
Right, okay. Adam seems to think he's being funny, but unfortunately you do hear the door open. And as he leaps out with a ha-ha, you're just there going, and... or in Adrian's case.
Well, 2 points is better than none.
Okay. As you shine the torch into the toilet, which you could clearly see, well, not clearly, but you could see was empty, you see Eddie with his face pressed up against the wall between the sink and the loo. And he appears to be knocking on it. Eddie, your hand winds up against cold plaster as a torch beam sweeps over you.
Adrian will shine the torch over him, look back and forth a couple of times between him and the guys out here in the corridor, then shut the door.
You're shutting the door on him in the dark.
Have you checked you and him in that tiny room, or are you on the outside?
Oh, I'm on the outside.
Okay, fine.
Nobody wants to be locked in the toilet.
Okay. Okay, Eddie, you briefly see magnolia colour plaster in front of your face as you're tapping. And then it's tap, tap, clang. As the door shuts behind you, the light cuts off, and again you can feel corrugated metal.
While he's doing that,
And
I'm going to
Adrian can make a sand check.
Beatrice, could you get down here for a minute, please? We've got some weirdness happening.
Beatrice is standing at the bottom of the stairs watching you going, so what exactly are they all doing?
Right, Beatrice.
Just for clarity, is there still a sink
Yes.
and a loo?
Nope. Well, not that you can see. You can't see anything.
There's some odd
In that brief moment, the light
electromagnetic stuff in the doorway. Now, Adrian took a picky, and the picky's a bit weird. It doesn't make sense. So, if I open the door, tell me what you see looking at the door. Bear with me, it may sound daft, but just go with me on this. Stand this side of the door, look out, what do you see?
Do I need to roll spot hidden?
No.
What do I in fact see?
What's your power, just out of curiosity?
Oh god. What is it again? Power. 17.
Make me a luck roll.
Oh,
Come on. Yes! I succeeded really well on luck as well, because my luck's 85 and I got a 22.
I hope I'm just a medium inside.
Best thing ever! Oh.
Right. As the door is opened, and the EM meter spikes like a good one, you get a briefest flash of cold wind blowing over you, as if coming off open ground. And ahead of you, you get the briefest image of grass. And then you blink as the wind blows into your face. And it's simply the drive, the house opposite, and the cosmic intern trying to avoid work.
Did you... I need a coffee.
Let's just answer the question, what do you see?
I see a driveway, but...
Right, okay, now, Adrian, would you show Beatrice the picture you took as I was going through the doorway? Because the picture doesn't show... I mean, I know I'm in the way of most of the picture, but beyond me, there's no driveway, no houses, there's grass and grange. Specifically, the grange that was here before it was built up.
She's got a sort of,
Adrian will
like,
take the time to
has seen
compare
a
the
ghost
two
look on her
photographs.
face, like...
She's making me a sand check is what she's doing.
Yes, I'm causing people to have sand checks now. Result.
Two!
Okay. Well done.
Oh, my luck has been compressed!
Yes. Take 1 point of sanity loss. Just the one.
Take 2 sand loss into the shower? No.
So, what's the cosmic intern doing?
Waiting for instructions.
People keep opening doors and walking back and forth
Everyone's
through them.
just being a bit strange, and I have no idea what they're doing because I'm not familiar with them.
At some stage, I hope that this scenario will progress beyond the front door, but I have no real faith
So fascinating.
that this is going to happen.
No, stuff's happening!
It's a rather nice front door.
I don't think that was
Thanks
ever
for getting us all so quite so
weird.
hung up on the front door.
Okay. Fish, is Adrian passing the Polaroid over to Beatrice? As was requested.
Yeah, but first, as I said, he wants to compare the two Polaroids that he's
Okay.
taken.
Right, I'll
Because
get
he
back
took
to you.
one when there was nobody going through, and one when there was Bryson going through, and he wants to compare the two Polaroids.
Okay, I'll get back to you in the mo then. Right, Jick. Eddie is in quite a cold room.
Before we continue, and I know you're juggling a lot, but I sent you a message on Discord
Okay, yep, no, that's cool.
just to...
Yep, no, he can do that.
Thank you.
Yep, there's significant echoing going on.
Can I kind of feel to what kind of extent the room I'm in is?
You're fairly way along the wall.
Yeah, try and find the door again that I came in.
Okay. You turn round a straight 180. I'm assuming one hand on the wall in front of you, and then just reverse yourself. Is going to be the
kind of
easiest way to
edging
do
yourself.
it. There should be a door about no more than a foot in front of your face at that point. This place is pretty small. It's of the, you open the door, you step in, you close the door, because otherwise you can't actually get to the loo. And you certainly can't get to the sink. Modern house development, yay.
Yay.
However, moving your hand ahead of you, it meets nothing but air.
You're in a warehouse.
Clearly a storage facility.
What are you doing? Are you walking, or are you staying put? Have I killed Eddie?
I've noticed that the wall that I was banging on did change briefly.
Yep. It was definitely, as soon as you walked into the room, it was corrugated metal. You've been banging on that, and when the light was in the room, you felt plaster and had a brief glimpse of the magnolia plaster you were expecting. And then as soon as the light went out, because Adrian shut the door on you, I just want to make this point, it wasn't me. You literally went tap, tap, bang, and were touching metal again.
Adrian, did Eddie have a light?
Well, he smokes. He's probably got a lighter.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Obviously, tailor-mades for Eddie.
Okay.
He didn't go to light a cigarette.
Okay.
I'm standing in the toilet in the pitch black.
No, it's just like, I don't know. Sod it. I need a fag.
Okay.
You know.
So yes, feeling ahead of you, your left hand meets nothing but air, so you decide that Siggy is going to calm your nerves a bit, because this is all terribly confusing. And as you light the Zippo, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Unless you're going to be one of those people who do the trick I used to do with portable lighters, which is open them up, turn the gas up, put the cap back on, so you get a 7-inch flame.
I think, to be fair, we all did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, just checking.
I've never smoked. I just did it for
Oh,
lighting
right, I've
candles.
still done that.
Yeah.
Well, I never used it to light cigarettes. I just had that because it was huge flames cool.
Huge flame is
I
cool.
had, I had another lighter for lighting the cigarettes.
Just have to know which one is which, especially if you're offering it to somebody else.
What is it? One was... See, that was the trick. So I use cigarette uses the cheap lighter, light my own with a Zippo. That's how I told the difference.
So yes, it's click, click, vroomf, and there is a cheap, slightly orange painted melamine door directly in front of your nose. Literally, your nose is pushed up against it.
Does the cigarette break?
I'm going to step back a bit.
At least he didn't have his hand out when he lit the lighter.
Oh, that would have been amazing!
Okay. What is your constitution?
Then his hand
Oh,
would
God.
against the door.
My con is 5.
Would you like to make me a 5 times con check, please?
What?
Indeed.
Because you're holding a lighter and I'm assuming you're keeping it depressed.
Well, that's a time to roll a 5.
He said it was a Zippo. Zippos don't
They don't
need holding
overheat as
depressed.
badly. Yes, true. Yeah, it's still going to get warm.
Yeah.
Okay. The door, as I said, is directly ahead of you. The Zippo is getting warm in your hands, but it's not at the oh dear God help stage, as cheapy placky ones would be.
Yep.
What you doing?
So I can see this door.
You can.
I'm going to lower the light to see the door handle.
Okay.
And I'm going to open the door.
Right.
Or attempt to open the door.
You can indeed step out of the loo into the entrance hall. Adrian, make me a... It's going to be a spot hidden to do the comparison.
That is a roll of 19 against my 55 spot hidden.
Okay. Aside from the fact that through the doorway, when Bryson was stepping through, you've got the view of Parkland. Everything else, every other detail of the corridor, of the door, of the whole framing, is identical.
Perfect match apart from the hallucination.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I will actually get both photographs.
Okay, so Beatrice gets
Not me
both
to roll,
photos.
Stan.
Yes, I would very much like you to roll San as you step out of the toilet. And I'm asking for it, aren't I? There, that's quote bot territory.
I've got 60. I rolled 50. So
Okay.
it got by 1 or.
Yeah, you can take a point of loss. I haven't really started doing anything horrible to you lot yet.
It's because we keep failing.
Eddie's going to start ranting and raving.
It's a good thing that we're not actual ghost hunters, because we would be terrible.
And start going, why didn't you pass me a bloody torch? Banging and everything.
No, you weren't.
Yep, nobody heard a thing.
You got the recording equipment set up?
I do. There's recording equipment in the bathroom.
I want it checked.
I've got a bunch of other stuff.
Good on you for going in there. It's horrible in there. And until further notice, Bryson, can we get the electrics back on, please?
What happened?
Well, I was in there. It was cold as anything. I was banging, and then it was dark, and I couldn't.
Who were you banging?
Right.
You didn't hear a thing, so you must have been really quiet.
Also, I love the idea that we're all like just in that little tiny hallway talking to each other.
Yeah, it's the entire house to play with, and you're just in the entrance hall, all sat in the porch, while the intern looks at you with, what?
Oh, I have an
I
idea.
can't even enter the house because there's too many people blocking
Yeah.
my way.
You could go in through the garage if you wanted.
Intern.
Is
Intern.
anybody else?
Let's send the PFY in there.
Yeah. Intern.
I
You're
just
gonna
sacrificed a laugh.
You walk in, you turn the flashlight off, see what happens.
And if something bad happens, you scream, we open the door and let you out.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Open and whilst in the doorway
Mm-hmm.
of it, not going further, open the door.
What, into the loo?
Yes, to look in. Basically, so I'm standing in the doorway, looking at the loo.
Okay. You're looking at a magnolia painted toilet with an avocado suite.
This is not.
It's very much not the room you were in.
Yeah, this is not. Oh, I'm just going. No, Beatrice.
Beatrice is coming, has already heading over to see what the fuss is about.
Okay.
Please go into the bathroom.
Expert.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hang around by this weird, spooky time door any longer.
Okay, so
Go into the
Adrian
bathroom.
has just chucked you 2 photos, Beatrice,
Yeah,
And-
she's been staring at me.
and Eddie wants you to go into the toilet.
Sure.
Just
So sketchy when you put it that way.
explain it. I mean, to go in there, and then after 10 seconds, I'm going to count out loud, 1 to 10. I'm going to open the door again. Okay?
Right. She's a little bit shaken, but she's gonna go in anyway.
Alright. Bryce and Adrian, could you have, or Adam, just have a torch shining on the door as I close it and keep them shining into the room?
Once the door is closed, the torch isn't gonna shine through the door.
I just want it shining at the door.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright?
So, are you doing as requested and entering the toilet?
She is. Though she's clearly like a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, okay.
So I close, and I'll start counting aloud. 1,
Right.
2, 3.
Right. The door closes behind you. And you have a feeling of a far greater space, or a greater space, than you could see ahead of you.
She puts her hand out behind her to where the door just was and should still be behind her.
Nope. It's thin air.
She immediately takes her hand back and tries not to panic. Can she hear the counting?
Nope. Nope. However, you can make me a listen check.
Oh, that'll go so well. No! Nothing!
Okay, you can hear nothing but the beat of your heart in your ears. Because this is not right. This is so not right. You clutch the photos really hard.
Yeah.
But you can't see your hand in front of your face, quite literally. The room is colder than you would expect. And your breath echoes. So, what you doing?
She's just sort of standing there trying to sort of take in the space because she's having a bit of a moment of, oh shit, this is actually real, this is actually real.
Okay, make me... It's technically a listen-ish, but it's also kind of a spot. Let's... Make me a better with your spot and listen. And by which I mean the higher, not the one you're most likely to fail.
Okay, listen is the higher stat. Oh, she got a 4. She actually passed it this time.
Not a good thing to do! No!
Okay,
No!
to your right, you can hear something. And what you can hear is... But it's really quiet. It's like it's a long, long way away.
Well, that's not ominous at all.
It's a long, long time
Oh, God.
away.
8, 9, 10.
Okay.
The second the door opens, she comes rushing out.
Okay.
Like, what? Happy.
Yes, would you like to make me a sanity check, please?
If people are just scared of a toilet,
I
why did they even
fail.
sign up for this show?
I have
We still
failed my
need to drop the
sample.
PF1 in there for 30 minutes.
How many stamp points do I take?
Was that a fail?
Yeah.
Okay. Fortunately, it's not a massive one.
No.
No, but it does roll dice.
Yeah. So, you're only losing 2 points.
Okay.
It was 1 or a D3.
What was
so
that?
It's no biggie.
What was that?
Tell us.
You're playing some kind of joke on me.
No. I think this is going to be amazing. It's going to make us so famous.
There's someone
We
in
found
there.
a bloody TARDIS.
There was someone in there.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, step in now and take a look. With the light going through, you'll see it. Step in now and take a look. Is there? It's a toilet. It's not a big room. There's not room for anyone else
I'm
in
not
there.
going back in there.
Fine, I'll go in.
I'll go with you.
Pass me the torch.
There is literally not room for 2 people in that toilet.
What?
A
Sure, there
sentence.
is. One sat on the
don't hear
toilet.
often.
No, wait.
What if someone stood on the toilet?
Let's agree that one by one, we're going to go into that room. I will do exactly the same. Door
down, I'm down.
closed. count to 10, open. Adam, are you in for this?
So,
Adam is the
Adam-
perfect guy for this, because if there is a trick that someone got here before us and set up, he's going to be the one to trigger it. If there's some weird sound like to play
Yeah,
like someone
that
else
was
is in
my
there,
plan, was
Adam
to-
will pick it up.
Yeah.
I'll go in. I'm not letting you have the torch, though.
It's what we're going to do. We're going to go Adam, the boy, Adrian, and Martin.
okay, so who's dragging Isaac in from the drive?
Apparently I've lost my name now.
What, the Cosmic Intern?
Just called the boy.
The boy.
Yeah.
You chose your role as intern.
Yes.
Right.
You did this to yourself in so many ways.
Okay then, same deal. You know, say it's only going to be 10 seconds. Pass me your torch, so or your flashlight. Don't.
I want to try something else. If it has something to do with light, I'll keep my torch off when I'm going to turn it on in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 15 seconds.
Okay.
Why the extra 5? Why not double it to 20? That gives you plenty of time to ascertain either way.
Okay, 20. Sure.
Do we have any advance on 20? Going once.
Right then.
So said the mute
in
guy.
the same setup with the light,
25.
with the flashlights on the door.
Okay.
Actually, Bryson, whilst I'm holding the flashlight here, can you go up, or can you go and put the electric back on?
That's next door.
I would feel much safer if we had electricity.
Okay. I turn on my I turn on a couple of different recorders, and walk through the door.
I'll
Okay.
close it behind.
Turn my torch off.
Right.
What about taking a Polaroid photo in there? Because obviously that has a flash.
That'll be Adrian's turn.
Adrian's currently hiding in the garage, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Beatrice wants to go. Beatrice is getting a hold of herself a little bit. She's going to go around and see if they have any rope anywhere.
Props is your best bet.
Props.
Bound to have, yeah.
Do you have any rope, string, anything?
Yep.
Yeah. Alright. Gosh, I have both. Which would you prefer?
Rope.
Actually, when you say rope, I'm talking 550 cord. Stronger than your average rope. Similar to the stuff they put on parachutes. It'll be fine.
It's paracord, basically.
Yes.
Yep.
Will it tie around a doorknob?
Oh god, yes.
Then we're good.
You've got loads of it. How much do you need? I've got 200 feet of it.
Oh no! Beatrice has gone from like
Yeah, well,
Really
I
happy
love the
to
opinion
angry.
that she always wanted these things to be real, but had just kind of reached the opinion, become a bit cynical about it. Like, she's freaking out. She's not going back in. She's going to send someone else in.
Okay.
But yeah, going to get past all the cord that she can.
Okay.
I've got 200 some odd foot of cord. We've got plenty of cord. Let's go sort some out.
Right,
She
so you
goes.
guys, you guys are heading off to the garage, so that's you two and Adrian in the garage. We've got Robinson is standing in the hallway going, what? With Eddie. Eddie is pointing a torch determinedly at the loo. And
closing the door on me.
yeah, and Adam is making me a listen check.
Oh, I'll try that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Because if
Ooh,
anyone can.
78. Yeah, I failed.
Okay.
But
So I can make a concealed check.
Conceal. Conceal is hiding things.
Yes.
What are you hiding?
I'm not going. I'm hiding myself.
I'm going
So-
to hide a bottle of paracetamol that I've got, and the fact I'm going to take some to calm my nerves.
When you say paracetamol, I'm sorry, is there some kind of euphemism here I'm not familiar with?
No. The legitimate paracetamol.
Are you going for a placebo
I've never
effect
had
there?
paracetamol to calm nerves.
It's Eddie doesn't know pharmacology. it's what he's got on him.
They're drugs. Drugs cure everything.
Will do.
I think Eddie's seen people in the media who have been, randomly taking pills for their anxiety for a while, and he hasn't really had the nerve to ask what they were.
Exactly. He's an imitator.
So he's just popped to Boots, come back with 120 paracetamol, and just sneaking it.
He's going to die of overdose by the end of
for a
it.
headache, and he's been given paracetamol.
Okay.
So,
So,
There's always one in these
right.
games, right? There's always one.
Sorry? Didn't catch that.
I was just saying, there's always one in games that you run. There's always one a substance abuser, and I don't know what the deal is.
It's usually Chick, which really worries me.
He's only going to take the two, at most 4 times a day, as he's been instructed by the pharmacist.
Right.
It's not substance abuse if it has prescribed, is it?
Yes. Shard.
I rolled a 96 for my conceal. I have a conceal of 15.
Okay. You
So-
are unfortunately given away by the clacking noise that all the pills make in the bottle, and you put the bottle away inside your jacket in the most suspicious, I am concealing illegal drugs way possible.
oh my god.
If you actually had a bottle full of uppers in a cocaine dressing, you could not have looked any more suspicious. And Isaac is looking at you with interest. Okay. In the toilet,
So,
Adam is not particularly aware of any specific noises, but you have a sense with the way that your breathing is echoing around you. You're in a larger room than you should be,
I reach for the door.
which isn't there.
Not there. Hello?
Who are you?
Hello? I'm a sound tech.
The voice comes from your right. It's not loud. You get the feeling they were shouting, but they're quite a way away.
Quite a ways. We might be back if you come towards the sound of my voice. I don't know what's happening, but this is very interesting.
This is another trick, isn't it?
It could be, but I'm not in on it.
I've been trying to get. I can't find anybody.
15.
Come towards my voice.
15.
Help.
Come towards my voice.
19.
They
20.
are. You can hear footsteps stumbling towards you. Someone's running while the countdown's from about 10 seconds. The countdown, you can hear footsteps. Obviously, you can't hear the countdown. The rest of us can. And they get stumbling, and they are faster, and they're getting louder, and they're getting closer. And as you can hear breathing now from whoever is running now towards you.
Means the next person together has to come face to face with.
And the door is opened. And you're standing facing the wall. And we'll take that up next week if people are okay with that.
I can imagine it now. The door opens. Shut the fucking door! Slam!
Shut the door! I like seeing the character that has the opposite reaction to the whole situation.
I didn't mean actually use the toilet.
When someone needs the toilet, we have to leave the door open.
You just take a torch in with you, you'll be fine.
I've got the chemical loo in the van. I've not going in there.
This van is expanding from sort of slightly suspect transit to full-on camper conversion.
It's a transit camper van.
Right.
I'd like to be clear. The sound of them breathing, it sounds like human breathing from running, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. And the voice was female.
Wait, you're telling me there's a cute girl locked in the toilet?
Nobody said cute.
No one said cute because no one's actually been able to.
She's a spooky ghost.
Nobody said girl.
It's a rule that all disembodied voices are cute
What did
girls.
we say? I was spooky.
There's the
No one said disembodied.
Nope.
Yeah, when we start again, I am totally going to be reaching out and be like, no, shutting the door. I'm sorry, I'm still here. Are you still here?
Okay, we will call it there. So, thank you for a very entertaining session.
Thank you.
I think we've all got an idea now for what the characters are like. You've all been slightly mentally dented by this house already, and you're only dealing with the front door and the toilet as yet.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the horrors of the garage yet.
Exactly.
Eddie's elated. He thinks he's found a TARDIS. It's amazing. It's his way back into fame.
Thank you all so much for watching. That was a lot of people watching us.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was very cool.
It was.
Thank you, people, for coming along
Right.
and watching me squeak and get excited and lose her will to live slowly at every failed listen check.
I'm just impressed. I
I
really
just kept
am.
watching it. I was like, it's almost a 50%. It's like near 50% chance to succeed. How does she keep failing?
I know. Yep, it's the 1,000,000 to 1 shots come up 9 times out of 10, or in your case, 0 times on a 50% chance.